Oh yeah. What up? Here we are. Hi everyone, how's it going? Merry Christmas to all the people who care. I don't, but whatever, we here. My mouse is on camera, let's just get that out the shot. Oh god, I clicked something, help, what did I do? Oh, off to a brilliant start. Anyway, hello everyone, hi, Merry Christmas, hope you're having a good time. We're here in the kitchen because I don't want to make Christmas dinner for myself. Hi Victor, how's it going? The Detroit pizza, oh mate, I ain't even got started on that boy yet. We're gonna start cracking on that one now. I'm not making Christmas dinner because I can't be bothered. There's no point. There's no point making it for myself. Like I don't even like it that much. Turkey's expensive. I much prefer to make Detroit style pizza, which is the best type of pizza. Hi Katie. Hi Saya. How's it going, everyone? Hi Victor. Thanks for joining me. I changed the chat today because we got in the kitchen, the chat box is just kind of like, oh, it's mirrored, so here we go. The chat box is just floating in midair and you can't read what people say. So I made it a bit bigger, put a little background behind it. So all good. Also, back in the kitchen, I got a new camera set up. I put my computer in a different location. So I put everything up here. So we now have face cam, which is a bit more like you're actually facing me, which is great. So you get to see my lovely blue eyes and my hair, which is now turned blue. It's supposed to be purple. And also we got a little counter space area for today. We're not using the burners today because we're just making pizza, so it's just going to be countertop and oven. Anyway, I'm going to try and speed run this first bit because the dough needs time to prove and that just takes up time and I haven't got too much else to do, so I'm going to try and whack through this. So to start off, I've got 300 grams of flour. I don't use American measurements because they're stupid, so we use metric. We use metric and we use weight rather than density in this channel. I'm English. So just got 300 grams of what is called strong bread flour. So this is flour that is like a bit hardier than regular plain flour. It has a higher gluten content, which is what you want for something a bit stringy and chewy and kind of more dense like pizza. If you're making something delicate like cake, that'll make cake hard, but for pizza you want it to be a little bit more kind of like, you'll see as we make it, the dough will be stretchier and a bit kind of more elastic than if you were using plain flour. So Detroit style pizza is made in one of these square pans. I'll just get through this quickly. And it's pretty thick. It has cheese all over and around the crust, which gives it this lovely kind of crispy, fried, caramelized, cheesy, crispy edge. And the sauce goes on top, which is the right way. Don't even tell me it isn't. So we got some cheese and some good chorizo to go on the pizza today, because like real pepperoni is not really a thing in this country, so I've used chorizo instead. It's the best thing. So yeah, 300 grams of flour. We are going to add to that, just straight up, one packet of just regular old dry active yeast. Just going to whack that in. This is the kind that you don't need to activate prior, it just activates itself, so you haven't got to sit there and stick it in warm water for 10 minutes. Next up, we want little measuring juggy boy. So we want, on the recipe it states 220 grams of water, and with water, 1 gram of water is equivalent to 1 milliliter of water, so I'm just going to use, because I haven't got my scales to hand, so because I weighed stuff out earlier, I'm just going to get some warm water. You don't want it too hot because it's going to kill the yeast, but if it's cold it won't activate the yeast, so it's got to be just a little bit warmer than your body temperature. So I'm slamming 220. Actually, you know what, I am going to use the scales because I can't accurately measure this. Hang on, the scales go, here we are. Just digital scales is the most important thing to use in the kitchen. So just in goes 220. Scales are facing me, but yeah. So 180, we almost there. 217, 222, perfect. So what I haven't done yet, what else you need to do, I'll just whack in. You can, it's optional, it's not on the recipe, but I always like to do this when I'm making oven pizza. You can just add in like a tiny little, like a teaspoon of sugar. That helps the yeast work quicker, because the sugar acts as a food source for the yeast. Yeast is a living thing. It's like a living bacteria, and then it eats the sugar, and then it just like exhales carbon dioxide, and that's what gives it the bubbles, which makes bread and pizza lovely and light. So what I haven't done yet is I haven't put the salt in. That's because salt is an antiseptic. Salt kills things. Salt is like kills bacteria, and yeast is a living organism. So the crisp. So we want the pizza. We don't want the salt to go in now because it will kill the yeast and the dough won't rise properly. That's a mistake so many people make. So what I'm going to do is I've now got my electric mixer. This thing is very old and very cheap. This is a what was called a Dura brand mixer, which is like the cheap range of electric kitchen gadgets that come from Asda, which is our version of Walmart. It's the same company, and I've had this thing for about 15 years, and I've made every pizza I've ever made with it, and it's never let me down. If you have one of those big standing mixers, that's fine. So what I've got is the dough hook attachment on. Bro, I'm trying to get on the right camera. This thing's mirrored. The dough hook attachment, and so what I'm going to do is I'm now going to knead the dough with this for about good 5 minutes at the very least. Anyway, let's get going. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and just show this to the camera to you. So what you want to do is you want to hydrate the flour as much as possible. So you want to get all of the flour evenly coated with the water. And what you want to do is you want to get underneath the dough, lift it up and spin it round, properly toss it about. You want to make sure everything's like getting kind of shifted. By kneading the dough, what you're doing is you're essentially folding it over itself a bunch of times, and this helps create those gluten strands, which is what we want to make the pizza kind of like to have that kind of stretch and that bubble, and that's what we want. If you just mix these ingredients together and you didn't knead them properly, you'd have a pizza dough that was kind of dense and it didn't have any kind of like stretch to it. It would kind of crumble and break apart. That's not what you want. Gluten is gluten gets a bad rep because of, you know, some people are intolerant to it, but it's not a bad thing at all. All it is a protein that makes starches stick together. Like, I've seen all this kind of like absolute bull crap thing about how gluten is unhealthy. Gluten's not unhealthy. Carbohydrates are unhealthy. So it's like, oh, I ate a whole pizza and I feel terrible, it must be the gluten. No, it's because you ate 300 grams of flour. That's the thing that's bad for you. That's like 1,000 calories just on its own, without the cheese and the pepperoni and all the other crap and the fucking garlic dipping sauce. Carbohydrates are bad for you. Well, I hope everyone's had a cool Christmas. I hope you're not all like... well, firstly, I hope you're not ignoring your families for this, and I hope you're not stuck with your families, because that's not fun either. So, this bit's a bit boring, but you just got to go for it. Sorry if the mixer's loud. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. And you'll see, as this becomes properly kneaded, if I show it to the camera now, it still looks a little bit shaggy and it kind of looks a little bit torn. You see these kind of big sticky strands? That's already gluten forming, so we're already getting there. But what we need to do is we need to do that until it's really glutinous and you can kind of see these like kind of long strands of kind of protein that are now in the flour. And as we do that also, the dough will get smoother and shinier, and it will start to what's called pull away from the sides, where it won't stick to the side of the bowl anymore. This is like when you're making kind of any kind of dough thing. Like you're making bread dough, you have to knead it. If you're making pasta, you have to knead it. Oh, days. If you're making something like a croissant, this is how you get the little layers. Yeah, I hope everyone's had a cool Christmas. I'm just chilling, just doing my thing. I'm not terribly festive, and I don't have very much family, and they don't live anywhere near me, so I just like to chill on my own for Christmas. It's my vibe. Just like to chill in my house, not do anything, play with the cats, eat pizza. And what I'm going to do, once this is kneaded, then you incorporate the salt and then you give it another knead. So the salt is evenly distributed throughout the dough, so it's nicely seasoned. As you can see, it's starting to get a little bit smoother, glossier as well. This is a real fucking workout on your hands, I have to say. It does absolutely suck. Using an electric mixer is much better than doing it by hand. It just takes a lot less time and it's more even as well. One of those big kind of large freestanding mixers, that's the way to go. But I don't have one because they're expensive. I remember when I was working in kitchens and I had access to them, they were great. I used to make pizza dough at work and take it home and eat it for dinner afterwards. I mean, I didn't have to buy my own flour as well. Ugh. Honestly, like, so much of cooking is just having the right equipment. Yeah, gluten is not bad at all. Gluten gets a bad rep by companies who are trying to sell you their product. That's all it is. And they say, oh, this doesn't have gluten in it. Oh, it's healthier for you. And it's like, no, like, I see things like cornflakes and it says gluten-free, but they're twice the price. Corn doesn't have gluten in it. Cornflakes have never had gluten in them. It's ridiculous. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to scrape down the sides of the bowl, just get all the little bits that have been missed, make sure they get incorporated into the dough, which is still sticking to the bowl. Still needs to be kneaded a little bit more. So how you stop stuff from sticking to dough, because dough is sticky, you have to just kind of move quickly, and you've got to kind of slice your way through it. It's like when you're handling dough, if you pick it up and you like, it's like, imagine it's fire. You want to kind of be quick with it. Just give that a good scrape down. Just put this pizza, bro, put the spoon out of the way. Yeah, it's starting to get nice and glossy. So now if I show you how it looks, it's now way more, if you go back in the video a couple minutes, it's way more glossy and smooth now. So I'm just going to keep going. This looks like a small amount of dough, but it hasn't risen yet. This will be a full-ass pizza. This is like a full Detroit-style pizza. This will make one, what's like 9 by 13 or something like that. I can't remember the exact measurements. It's either 9 by 13 or 10 by 14 inch pizza, which is enormous. Like, so this is 300 grams of flour. That's like almost an entire loaf of bread. This pizza will very, very happily feed 2 people, or it will absolutely incapacitate one. It's like the same size as like a Little Caesars pizza, or if you're lucky enough to have gone there, a Buddy's pizza. See now, dough is not sticking as much to the sides. It's starting to naturally fall into like a nice little bowl. Nice little ball, sorry. Yeah, this is almost there. And so now the yeast and sugar that I put in there are going to be perfectly distributed, so it'll rise nice and evenly, and then in a minute I can add the salt. So there's less chance of it inhibiting the yeast's growth because it's spending less time in contact with the yeast, and also it's not like the salt's going in a big clump and the yeast is in a big clump. The yeast is now so evenly spread out the salt won't damage it as much. Okay. My wrist's starting to hurt. And we are done. I can't believe how well this mix has done. I've completely abused it. I've made like giant batches of pizza. See now, if you move quickly, it doesn't stick to you. Let's just get this all off. Oh, it's Pokemon wrap time. It's still quite a sticky dough. It's sticking to me a little bit more than I would expect it to. This is what's called quite a high hydration dough, so it means it's got quite a lot of water content. Different things you make, like the ratio between water and flour is really important. That's why you have to use digital scales when you're making like things with flour in them, because otherwise, like if you use density, it's just not an accurate measurement, and you will end up getting like even like a 10% variation. So if you put 220 grams in rather than 200 grams of flour, it's going to be completely different. So one thing just to illustrate what gluten is and how it works is, if you see the dough, where it pulls in these really long, kind of thin strands, that's gluten at work. If you were using like a low gluten flour, like a cake flour, or something that didn't have gluten in it, you wouldn't be able to do this. That little stretch. And what you can do is, I'm just going to get this sticky stuff off my fingers. This is a great tip. This is how you get rid of, if you ever have sticky dough attached to your hands, just get yourself a little pinch of flour, go over to your sink, and just rub the flour on your hands. And what it does is that then soaks up all the moisture in the dough stuck to your hands, and it just rubs straight off. That's a chef tip that I picked up in a real kitchen. Yeast, says Catherine. Appreciate you giving me the yeast. Right. I love cooking. Cooking's fun. Pizza's my favourite thing to cook as well. It always has been. That was the thing that when I first learned that you could like make pizza, my mum used to make homemade pizza, I was like, you can make pizza? Damn. And it's like not hard. I was like, oh sick. And that was like the first thing that I like mained when I was like learning how to cook. I was like, I made pizza like when I like moved out for the first time. So I used to cook when I was at home. I did the cooking in my family when I was like 16. When I moved out to university, and I was like, there's literally nothing stopping me making pizza all the time. So if I just grab a little pinch of this dough, if you stretch it kind of, it's a little bit too hydrated to illustrate, but what you can do is you take a little piece of the dough and you can stretch it out, and if you hold it under a light, you can see these tiny little threads that run through the dough, and those are the gluten strands. And that is what gives your pizza its chewy elasticity, deliciousness. So just going to go whack the salt in now, give one final little mix. Then I need to let this rest for about 10 minutes so it relaxes, then we can stretch it out and leave it to rise. So what I've done is I've just chucked in 9, I should have really showed everyone, but I've just chucked in 9 grams, which is a lot, but it's a big pizza, so you need that to season it properly, of high quality sea salt. I've used Maldon salt, which is a thing you get in the UK, which is the best salt in the whole world. It's incredible, it's delicious. Like, I didn't understand fully, like, the importance of salt in food until I used, like, good salt. That stuff is absolutely life-changing. It's kind of expensive. It's like £2 for a box, but it makes things taste so much better. So just giving one final whip round. Okay. Excellent. Right, let's just whip that off. The quicker you move, the less of it's going to stick to you. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to prepare the dough to place in the proofing tray. And by doing that, we're going to turn the dough out onto the counter. We're going to lightly flour it and just fold the centers in. Fold the edges into the center so you get a nice, smooth little dough. That way it has no edges, so it's not going to kind of like sploot out everywhere and be uneven. You don't want uneven dough. So I'm just going to just prep my spoon with a tiny bit of flour so it won't stick. When you're making like Neapolitan pizza dough, it's nowhere near as sticky because it's not as hydrated. But so I'm just going to again, moving quickly, just going to scrape this out. Just chuck a bit. I don't like to chuck too much flour down on the counter because it makes a fucking mess. But just a little bit, just so it's not going to stick to my counter. I've done this so many times. I must have made like in the thousands of pizzas. I've made so many. I had a couple jobs where I was making pizzas as well for a while, and I was doing it my own way. It was really cool because the place that employed me wasn't very smart, and they let me do whatever I wanted. That worked out well. Right. I feel like Bob Ross right now. Okay, so that's all the dough out. So just gonna whack that. Just hit that with a little bit more flour on the top. Oh, hi Smino, how's it going? Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're having a lovely Christmas. I hope you're with people that you love and you're having a great time. Thank you so much for joining by. I will see you next time when you're free. So I've just chucked a little bit of flour on top and bottom of this. Now what I'm going to do is, again, moving quickly because that way it won't stick. You just want to start folding it in on itself. You don't want to over flour it because then that'll change the ratio of flour to water and the hydration. So while I've done that, just go and just pick up all the little bits on the counter that have stuck by. Now picking it up in our hands and just folding it in on itself. And then we're going to do what's called pulling the seams, which, as you can see, all the kind of ugly shaggy bits, I want to pull them... Hang on, it's still a bit sticky. I want to pull them round to the bottom. I've done this so many goddamn times. So you just want to pull it all around to the bottom so it's all in one place. That will leave you with a perfectly kind of smooth top. So that's kind of what we want on the top. We want it to be nice and smooth. It's a little bit stickier dough than I'm used to. Hang on, just check that down. That's the thing, like flour, it varies so much because there's always a natural kind of like difference in the density and the fineness of the grind and the hydration of the flour. Like if you're getting flour in a more humid environment, it's going to naturally have more moisture in it, so it'll come out a little bit wetter than in some places where it's drier. There's so like that. This is why baking is so difficult because it's just full of variables. Forgot to oil down my pan. Just going to do that now. I actually have, for when I make Neapolitan pizzas in the summer, which are those beautiful wood-fired Italian ones. I have this little kind of a bench scraper. I feel like I'm on Bon Appetit Test Kitchen now using this. Let's just whack this guy out of the way for a sec. So here I have my lovely kind of heavy stainless steel Detroit pizza pan. You can buy that on Amazon for about 12 quid. I'm just going to go give it a good, more than you would expect. Nice little dash of just extra virgin olive oil. We want to thoroughly wipe down the pan. Get the oil all over. Again, this is not a healthy pizza. This is quite luxurious, so it does have a lot of olive oil, a lot of cheese, a lot of chorizo. Damn. Wonder what everyone's been up to for Christmas today. I hope your Christmas dinners were good. I hope the day was fun. I wonder, did anyone watch Gavin and Stacey? Was it any good? I never watched it. I don't care. Okie dokie. So by wiping it down all over, just needs a little bit more. This way the dough is not going to stick to the pan. I mean, this is a brand new pan, it's non-stick anyway, so it's not going to stick, but it will stop any chance of it sticking to the pan, and also the olive oil will crisp up the dough and kind of gently fry the bottom of the dough, and olive oil tastes amazing. So it's going to make your pizza crispier, it's not going to stick, and it's going to taste great. It makes your hands soft too. Right. Let me just scrape this bad boy up again. Again, moving nice and quickly so nothing sticks. So if I try and stretch this dough out right now, just because we finished kneading it, it's not going to be able to stretch. It's too stretchy, it's too elastic, because we've just been working it. We've just been pounding it with the mixer for the last 10 minutes. And so what that does is that makes it all tighten up. And then we're just going to leave this here, cover it up, let it relax for 10 minutes, and then it'll all loosen. Then we can stretch it out, then we leave the pizza to prove for as long as we can, really. That's when it's going to rise. So, just covering up with a little bit of cling film, nothing fancy. It's not rising yet, we're just letting it relax. Right, I'm just going to go and do a little bit of cleaning up real quick. So again, same thing if you have dough on your hands. If you ever have any dough inside your bowl, this is impossible to clean off because it's wet and it's sticky as hell and you'll just make a mess. If you try and put a sponge and scrape this off, you're just going to ruin it. So again, just get a big handful of flour and just go around with your spoon, and this will dry up all the little bits of flour stuck to the side of the bowl, and just clean them off. Then you can go and just rinse it under the tap and go over it with washing up liquid, and it'll come out perfectly clean. So I'm pleased I got the dough made now. That was, I kind of sped through there. Everything else will be a little bit more leisurely, a bit more caring, because we need as much time as possible to leave the dough to rise. I mean, it does, you ideally, anywhere between an hour and like 3 hours is fine, but I want to get as much time as I can today to let it rise. I can't sit here for 3 hours watching dough rise. I've got to make this somehow entertaining. Okie dokie, right, so all this kind of mix of kind of fresh flour and the wet flour that was there before, just going to chuck that. Oh, I've got a little bit on the outside of the bowl, I didn't see that. Just going to tip that into the bin, just going to rub this over the bowl so we get those little spaghetti bits off. Alright, let's give that a rinse. Let's get my rubber gloves, because I get eczema if I wash my hands without wearing gloves. I remember all the times I was working in kitchens, it took me ages to work out properly what was happening. I just thought I was getting, like, my hands were getting roughed up because the job, like, cooking in a kitchen, like professional kitchen, is really hard on your hands. It tears your hands up, not just cuts and burns, like, they don't really happen. Like, they only happen to people who are kind of new. Just all the things that you're doing, and you're washing your hands all the time, and your hands are always wet because you're handling, you know, cutting up vegetables and stuff like that, and handling wet things, and oh shit, washing up all the time and rinsing things, so your hands get wet a lot and your hands get really torn up working in the kitchen. So I used to get really bad dry skin and eczema when I was working in the kitchen, and it was horrible. I remember I had to, just my prescriptions for like my torn up hands were costing me like 30 quid a month. And that's on the NHS, which is fucking cheap. It's only like £9 for a prescription. I had like 3 different hand creams. Yeah, I remember being sad when I worked in the kitchen because my hands weren't soft anymore. Oh shit, now they are again because I don't work in a kitchen anymore. I'm a musician. Which is much more fun than working in a kitchen. Much more rewarding. And you get screamed at way less. So yeah, I much prefer being a musician. I like cooking at home for fun. Cooking for people that I love. Cooking for you lot. Sorry you can't see my face. I've gone behind the counter cam. Cooking is still one of my favourite things. It's like as good as music. But doing that professionally is a lot less fun than doing music professionally. Okay, cool, that's done. Just gonna leave that boy to sit. What else can I wash up while I'm here? Let's give this spoon a little rinse. I like to do my washing up as I go, otherwise it builds up and then you sit there doing the washing up for like 4 hours at a time. There have been times I've done that when I've been lazy and I haven't washed up after cooking like a big thing, and then like you come back to it the next day and like everything's dried on and it's so much harder to clean. So it's always best just to run in, do a little bit of washing up as you go. Especially when you have a little break like I have right now, the dough needs to just sit there for 10 minutes before I can stretch it out. Okay. That little spoony boy is clean. Right, let's declutter. Again, you want to put things away as you go as well. That helps you keep a nice tidy workspace. It's not cluttered. This baggie of flour. So this is just regular, just Morrison's strong white flour. It's the supermarket. But honestly, like, don't waste a bunch of money unless you're buying like, unless you're making Neapolitan pizza and you're getting like Caputo 00 flour from Italy. It's all the same shit, it's fine. Like, all the different brands of strong flour you'll find in your supermarket, the most expensive one, the cheapest one, they're all the same. Literally no difference. In terms of quality anyway. Just gonna go pull this off. This is all dry so it can just go into my hand. Well, I hope the cooking stream's looking and sounding a bit better today than it was last week. Last week was a fun test, but it was also kind of nerve-wracking. I kind of felt a bit silly at the end because I like ended the stream so early, and I just made one burger, and we hadn't even been live for like an hour, and I didn't know what to do, so I just kind of went, and I turned the camera off, and then I realized I was like, oh, I can make another burger because I had more stuff left, so and I didn't take a pic. You know what? I also fucked up. I didn't put the onions in the burger on the stream, and that's the best bit, the caramelized onions, apart from the beef. And so I made another burger after I finished the stream and put the onions on it, and then I took a picture of it and I ate it afterwards because I was still hungry. So I was like, oh no. It was my first time doing a cooking stream, so I kind of freaked out a little bit. But I feel a lot more relaxed today. I'm happy, I'm chill, I'm in the kitchen making pizza, my favourite food. Right, cool, so I'm going to give that another couple minutes to carry on resting. Let's just declutter a bit more. My cameras are very specifically placed so you can't see any of the mess in my kitchen. Well, there isn't any mess in my kitchen because my kitchen's always clean, but you're like, you know, cluttered. Okay, one thing I can do right now. So what I've got to go on the pizza, like, real pepperoni is kind of hard to get in this country. It doesn't really exist. What we do have in abundance is decent chorizo. So this is just whole cured chorizo, and you can cut it yourself. Because the thing is, all of the pre-sliced, like you can get like pre-sliced pepperoni, but firstly it's bad quality. And it's all sliced too thin, so this will, if you put this on a pizza, this will burn. If you put that horrible little cheap £1 pack of sliced pepperoni from Asda on a pizza, it's going to burn by the time the pizza's cooked. So this is what I go for, just nice whole chorizos. These are like £1.50 in every single supermarket. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to whack these in the freezer just for like 20 minutes, because what that does is that firms them up, and then the natural fat in the chorizo will solidify because it melts at like, when you handle it at like body temperature, it's going to start to melt and get squishy and messy and kind of gross, and the chorizo is harder to cut when it's at room temperature. So you put it in the freezer, chills down, firms up, you cut it with no mess, you get perfect even straight slices. Oh, chorizo, like I'm saying it wrong, like chorizo, like that smoked, cured Spanish sausage, Mexican sausage. It's a bit like pepperoni, but I think it's better than pepperoni. But you get it in like a big, it's like a little skinny pepperoni. I'm just gonna hit the booth. Hang on. This is like instant, not appropriate for kids. Yeah, sorry, I'm probably saying it weird because I'm English. People in England call it chorizo, which makes me want to vomit. Like when I used to work at Subway and we had it there, people come in and be like, can I have a chicken and chorizo sandwich? And I'd be like, no mate, you can have a chorizo sandwich. So as you can see, when I put the dough in my little Detroit pizza pan to rest, it was originally in a big ball because all the protein strands in the dough had gone and tightened up. It's now kind of relaxing and splooting out. I'm going to give that another 10 minutes before I stretch it out. Oops, sorry, I just bashed my microphone on my... I know what I can do. Bash the microphone on my oven hood. So for the sauce, again, this might seem counterintuitive. This is how I've done it for like years. This is through years of research. Hey Rusty, how's it going? Through years of research, this is the best way to do sauce. This sounds weird, you don't want to pre-cook the sauce before it goes on the pizza. Because the sauce is going to have a chance to cook when it's on the pizza. And also, when you slow cook, so I just have a can of chopped tomatoes, just, you know, bog standard ones, nothing fancy. When you cook these tomatoes, they're already a little bit cooked, they're canned, so they've already been cooked a little bit. I'm just looking for my colander. They've already been cooked a little bit. When you cook them before, they end up taking on this kind of too savoury, too rich flavour, and you want them, when these tomatoes are in the can, they're still like a little bit, they're like a little bit raw still, and so they have more of that kind of bright, slightly sweet, slightly more acidic taste. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just pouring the tomatoes into a colander, or sieve, and just straining them over the sink. And what this does is this gets all the juice, the tomato juice out. We just want the tomato solids. Just gonna shake this up and down, get all that liquid out. Because the thing is, your number one enemy, when you're making something crispy, your number one enemy is liquid. And if you like blend these tomatoes and make them into a sauce, it's going to be way too runny. And that's why people cook the sauce. You cook it and it reduces, and you cook the moisture out of it and it gets drier and thicker. But then you kind of overcook the tomatoes and they take on this kind of like too savory, almost like you don't want it to taste like a bolognese, you know? I did CGI a new kitchen for Christmas, Rusty. I just moved the cameras from last week. So you want to be kind of quite thorough, go around. I can actually use that spoon I washed up. You want to kind of go around, where'd it go? You want to kind of go around, get as much of this liquid out as you can, because there's so much, like tomatoes are like 70% water or 90% water or something like that, so they're full of liquid. So just want to push it through, push the liquid through your colander. It's a VR kitchen. You know what? I did almost put the green screen up on the door behind me, and I was going to put like Guy Fieri or something on there. Ah dear. But yeah, so I like to use just uncooked tomatoes straight out the can. They'll cook on the pizza, and the less cooked they are, they have a little bit more of a brighter, kind of sweeter, more acidic, a little bit more of a zingy taste. Because you want something to cut through all that kind of savoury with the meat and the cheese. And if you add more savoury onto that, it's going to kind of be a bit one-dimensional. So, okay, so these are now a little bit better. So I'm just going to rinse that tomato juice away because I don't need that. Just put this here on the counter for a sec. I've got that measuring jug I had earlier for water. That's around here somewhere. Or like, here we go. I put that off camera. So now, just going to tip away the rest of that water we didn't use. Whack the tomatoes in there. Making a mess, because I'm trying to show you what I'm doing, but I'm making a mess. I'll clean that up in a sec. Just move this around. Okay, just pop these tomatoes out of the way for a sec. Just rinse my sieve off. I'll give that a little wash in a minute. So I hope 8 viewers, thank you for joining me, everyone. Hope you're having a nice Christmas. Hope you're having a good time, either with your family if you like them, or not with your family if you don't like them. Oh dear. I hope you've all had nice Christmas lunch or Christmas dinner. This is my Christmas dinner because I actually can't be fucked to cook Christmas dinner. And I'm not going to spend like 20 quid on a turkey just because it's Christmas. Turkey's like the cheapest meat the rest of the year round. That always like psychs me out so much. Like you can go like almost every like decent supermarket in the UK, you can get like a huge turkey leg any other time of the year for like £1.80, and you've got like something like 700 grams. So it's like you've got like about 500 grams of like lean, delicious turkey leg meat, and it's so cheap. But come Christmas, just because everyone buys turkeys because people are normies, they end up being so fucking expensive. So mate, I ain't about that life. I'm about seasonal, fresh, cheap produce, because I'm a broke boy. I can't afford expensive ass turkeys. Just gonna grab my little stick blender. I can unplug the hand mixer now because we're done with that. So my computer's right here, so I'm just putting the plug behind my computer. Ah dear. Like, again, I've seen videos, like, this frustrates me so much, because I've worked in professional kitchens for, like, almost a decade, and I see all these people on YouTube who don't know how to fucking cook, and they want to make a cooking video, and, like, they're dragging out the huge-ass food processor just to, like, blend some tomatoes and make them smooth, and what that does is, firstly, it makes them too fucking smooth, it makes them into, like, liquid, and then also, by churning these tomatoes around too much, you're putting too much oxygen in them, and the tomatoes are oxidizing. That's when your pizza sauce turns this kind of putrid, sickly orange color, and then too much oxygen gets in the tomatoes and makes them bitter. I'm just going to pour a little bit of the juice out that's just accumulating. So yeah, just stick blender, super quick, like just a couple passes. You want these just to be smooth, so there's no giant chunks, but you don't want to sit there whizzing them around, putting all this oxygen into them, turning them into like fucking liquid. There we go, that's all we need. Yeah, we're done. Pop the stick blender back. Let's just tap that little boy off. Okay. And also it saves you having to make a mess, having to wash up another saucepan. That's good to go. I'll just leave that here. I'll come back for these in a sec. Right, so this is going to be the basis of my sauce. This is just 2 cans of just sieved and crushed up tomatoes. What I've got, I a little prepared earlier because I'm smart. I have here just a little teaspoon of oregano. I have some. Let me see if I can put some on this camera. Bruh. Little teaspoon of oregano, some crushed chili flakes, and just some freshly cracked black pepper. Just going to put those in. What that's going to do, that's going to add flavor to the sauce. So the red chili flakes won't make it spicy. It'll just give it like a very, very gentle little kind of kick. Dried oregano. Fresh oregano is amazing, but it's really hard to get and it's super seasonal, so you definitely won't get it in Britain in December. And some freshly cracked coarse black pepper, which is always the best way to go. You can put fresh basil in here too. It works for different kind of pizzas as well. Like for example, if we were making Neapolitan pizza, you better have fresh basil in here. But this is kind of more of a hardy working man's pizza, so I don't think it needs basil today. I think it's got enough going on. Although I do take my sauce very seriously, I kind of think the sauce is like almost the most important part of the pizza. So, especially because the sauce goes on top on this pizza, so it's the first thing you're going to taste. So just going to give that a good incorporation. Going to go get my box of Maldon salt. Oh, here we go, which I was talking about earlier. This mad lad here. This is the most delicious thing in the whole world. This changed how I felt, everything I thought I knew about salt. This changed it. This taught me that it's okay to use salt. Salt is not bad for you. And it comes in these beautiful little crystals because it's dried supernaturally, like you can see. I'm trying to find you a little pretty one. So you can see the detail on this. It's like a little pyramid. It's not focusing, but yeah. It looks kind of like a little teeny tiny, it's not focusing, like a little teeny tiny pyramid, and it has these beautiful little patterns on it. It's like a snowflake. So just putting in a big hearty pinch of this. When you're adding salt to things, it's really important to taste the food. So I'm adding salt to this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a little mix. Let all that salt kind of hydrate and incorporate. Then you taste it and you see how salty it is. It's going to taste saltier than it actually is because you've just put the salt in and it hasn't fully incorporated. You need to kind of let this sit and cook and do its thing for like, more than 5 minutes before it'll be evenly distributed. But if you taste it, if it's not salty enough yet, you can add a little bit more, and then you taste again, then you add a little bit more until it's just right. Sauce makes or breaks any food, especially in pizza. Like, bad sauce is an absolute ruiner. You can have bad dough and you can have good sauce. So I'm just going to get a little teaspoon to taste this with. And it's one thing was a really important lesson that I learned when I was working in a professional kitchen, when someone showed me the first time. When you take something like a soup and then you add salt to it, or you taste the soup first, then you add a little bit of salt, then you taste it again, then you add more salt, then you taste it again, then you add more salt, and you taste it again until it's perfectly seasoned. You see how all the flavors change and develop. Like, there are notes that are brought out by it, there are things that taste better, there are things that you taste more, things that you taste less. It's like the most important thing. So I'm just going to give this a little taste. I think it needs a tiny bit more salt, because you want it to be nice and kind of savory. I'm getting those delicious red chili flakes that I put in there. I'm just going to put a little tiny pinch more. Just grab another spoon. I'm not double dipping on camera because that's gross, even though it's my pizza. I must ship everyone a piece of pizza, yeah, I know. Maybe if there's another big KKB gig in London or something like that, I'll open up a little stand, make some money out of it as well. So I put a little bit more salt in there now, and then just. I think that's ready. I think that's fine. So it's nice. It's actually a little bit spicier than I intended it to be, but I love spicy food, so that's great. So it's got a little bit of a kick to it. Those red ash chili flakes. This shit's gonna look amazing by the time we're done, I promise you. So, one thing I can see is there's still maybe a little bit too much moisture in there. What I'll do is, as the sauce settles, the water will kind of collect up to the top beneath the tomato solids. You can just skim a little bit of that off. Right, sauce is done. Pizza has now rested for a little bit, so it's now time to stretch this bad boy out. If you're making other types of pizza, you usually don't proof it in the thing that you cook it in because you want to stretch the pizza out, but this is a thick-ass pizza cooked in the pan. So we're going to let it rise in the pan. Ooh, a little bit of dough is just stuck to the plastic. By letting it rise in the pan, it'll kind of properly spread out. It'll get right up to the corners in the pan, and that's how you get those really perfect square corners. That's why it's really important to get a pan that has like sharp square corners like this one does. So let me see, I'm just going to get a little bit of this oil in the pan on my fingers because this dough's still a bit sticky. You want to just start kind of lifting and stretching it out. You never want to use a rolling pin on a pizza. That's like sin absolute number one. That is how you ruin your pizza, because by rolling it out, all the air that's coming into the pizza from it rising, having the yeast and all the little carbon dioxide bubbles, they're all just being squashed out, and you end up with a tortilla. You end up with a dense, not very nice pizza. So you have to work on it because it's still a little bit elastic, even though we've let it rest. But the pizza is going to rise. By the time this is risen, it will fill the tray up, and it will be like, you know, at least twice as kind of tall. Just want to pull that into the corners. Also, my pan is very non-stick and very well oiled, so it's not going to stick to the sides of the pan just yet. Also want to try and get it even. You can just judge with your eyes. It's almost like making grandma style focaccia bread. I remember I worked in an Italian restaurant at one point, and there was a lady there. She was actually one of the only people there that was nice. Everyone else there was fucking horrible. And she was just kind of like mum from Brescia in Italy, and I used to watch her make the focaccia every day, and she'd like break me off a bit of focaccia and like stuff it in my mouth. It was great. While I'm sitting there making salads at this Italian restaurant when I was like 19. That was actually an incredibly miserable time in my life. That wasn't fun. I did not like working there. I won't say which one it was, but I actually got fired from that restaurant because I was causing too many problems, because I was trying to get staff to walk out with me because I was unhappy about the safety conditions and how we were being treated by the management. Yeah, James tried to organise an uprising. Okie dokie, so that's about as even as we're going to get for now. So now I'm just going to dry my hands because I've got oil on them. We're going to let this boy cover up with some more plastic wrap, and then we want to leave that for as long as we can. So we're 45 minutes into the stream. I'm going to try, the pizza will only take about 10-15 minutes to cook once it's in, so I'm going to try and leave this bad boy for as close as I can to about 2 hours, or until it looks really kind of viscous and bubbling and risen. I've been away, but I now return with some fresh sandwiches. Oh, thank you, Asaya. Thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you. I hope you got some good-ass Christmas leftover sandwiches. Ooh, wee. So right, just going to leave this bad boy for as long as I can. When this is risen, it will look like... Normally, if your pizza looks like this is going to look, it's bad because it means it's overproofed. Like, this is going to end up being almost kind of liquidy by the time we're done. It's going to be very big and viscous and bubbly. And that's because Detroit-style pizza is naturally very kind of fluffy. It has these big bubbles inside of it. It's a very light dough. It's not going to be like a heavy kind of dense dough like a little thin pizza or like a Domino's pizza. This is going to be very kind of like... almost like the texture of like a sourdough bread. So we're just going to leave that boy. Actually, it's got the light pointing on it as well, which is nice and warm. That's one thing. Yeast works. I don't know if you did the experiment at school, like the biology experiment. I remember doing it at school where the teacher puts the yeast in hot water, cold water, room temperature water, and then it shows you how quickly the bubbles rise up and shit. So you want this to be a little bit warm. Not too warm because it'll kill the yeast, but that'll make it rise a bit quicker. What I have done sometimes is I get a little tray and I put hot water in the bottom of the tray, and that just helps it rise from the bottom. I could do that. I have actually the perfect size pan, but I don't know where it is. I think it's back here. Let me just go grab that real quick. So I've just got another big stainless steel pan just out from the back of my kitchen. I've just got to wipe my nose real quick. Hang on, sorry. I've got a runny nose because it's the winter. Just my hands a little wash. So let's get some hot ass water from this tap. I should have a show in the UK in June. That would be an epic gamer moment. You will have to talk to the band's booking agent. Unfortunately, I have no influence over that. I don't know what the band's plans are for this year yet. I don't think anyone knows. So I'm just pouring a little bit of this hot water into the tray. Now I'm putting the pizza tray just on top of that. So the hot water, will just gently heat the pizza. I can top it up with a little bit more. The pizza dough from the bottom, and it will just help the yeast rise quicker. You don't need to do this. This is just kind of like a speed hack. Speed hack. Right, that's clean, so I can just put it back on the draining board. Damn, son. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to wash up a few little things again, washing up as we go. Make sure to always dry your hands thoroughly. Then we've got some chorizo in the freezer, which will be nice and firm and ready to slice. Sorry, I'm being a degenerate. Is there still music? It sounds... I know the music turns off after a certain period of time. I'm just going to go click on that. Yeah, it said video pause. Here we go. There's not much sound going on, so the music's very important today. Right. What am I doing? Washing up. Well, once again, appreciate y'all being here. Thank you very much for joining me. Would appreciate if you could... I'm going to be Jake Paul. If you could just smash that like button. If this video gets to 100,000 likes, I'm going to go pour Nutella on my brother's head. If you haven't subbed to the channel already, go give me a sub. I appreciate you. It means you'll never miss another stream, another cooking stream. I was going to do a video yesterday, but something came up and I was kind of busy, so I didn't get around to it in the end. I was going to do another little talking video about some of my band antics and stuff like that. So that's going to be... Tomorrow was going to be my day off, but now I'm going to do that tomorrow instead. I can also wash up my glass, because I'm not drinking anything. Just water. God, I hate washing up. I've done so much washing up in my life. Like, that was one of the things as well. Like, in a lot of the kitchens I worked, they were small, and I was the only person working there. Like, I was just running the kitchen. But it meant I had to do all the washing up too, bruh. I have to say, though, those, like, professional dishwashers, like kitchen porters, that is the shittest job I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, because I was a chef, I worked around them, and those guys get worked so hard. It's the most brutal job. You end up wet. You get covered in food because you're having to clean all these, like, dirty plates and pots and pans and stuff. So you just get food thrown all over you. You're soaking wet. Your skin gets absolutely destroyed by you washing up all day. And all the industrial washing up liquid that you use is really bad for your skin. It really roughs your hands up. They get the worst pay. They get treated the worst. It's a really shitty job. It's really unfair. Okay. That's all nice and clean. Can wash up those little spoony boys while I'm here too. I am looking forward to this pizza. I haven't actually eaten very much today. Because I'm waiting to eat when my pizza's done. Okay, I can rinse these dough hooks as well that I used to make the pizza dough with. These things are like the #1 hardest thing to clean. They suck because this dough is like so difficult to get off, and when it dries and they go hard, it's such a nightmare. It's already gone hard, the dough on these dough hooks. You have to properly get in there and scrub them off. Like, I spend so much time doing the washing up because I'm like so thorough. I hate when things aren't like 100% clean. I also hate when you get like washing up liquid residue on everything. That's why I rinse everything under the tap. I don't have a big bowl full of it. One. I'm pleased my little cheap like £5 mixer that I bought 15 years ago has done me very well. Oh, I think my mum probably bought it and I took it from her. Yeah, I remember like I said earlier, the first time I learned that you could make your own pizza was my mum made her own pizza a couple times when I was a kid, and I was like, oh, this is great. But I was like, but I can do it better. Yeah, as soon as I like started cooking when I was like 14, 15, I very quickly became the best cook in the house, which meant I did all the cooking. Ah, damn. I think it's because I was the only person that put like salt in things. Damn. Right, let's get chopping board. Oh, hang on, that's the wrong cupboard. I still haven't actually been in this house. I moved into this house like 4 months ago, but I've spent 2 months in different countries, so I actually don't know how my house is laid out. Right, oh, the chorizo's in the freezer, isn't it? Lovely and firm. It's not frozen, it's just a little bit firmer, and this Water's nice and warm, it's keeping the pizza dough warm as well, so it's going to rise more evenly and a bit quicker than we first thought. Right. So I have two. I'm going to need, the recipe calls for 340 grams of chorizo. So these are quite little, so I'm going to use probably like 1.5. I'm not going to exactly weigh it out because it doesn't matter. You can use as much as you want. I'll leave that one in the packet for now. Let's get myself a knife. Got my nice, as always, nice sharp chef's knife. And as always, we're going to sharpen it before we use it. Every single time. That's how you keep your knife in top conditions, and it's safer because a sharp knife is safer than a dull knife. A dull knife will slide off whatever you're cutting and go into your very soft and cuttable fingers. Just using standard kitchen sharpening steel. And as I said last week, we're just realigning, because the knife's already sharp, it doesn't need to be reground. We're just realigning the blade with the very tip, getting it nice and straight so it cuts perfectly. Taking a big gulp of Pepsi. Now I'm just drinking water today. I've had too much Beppis lately. I've just got some water in my Huel bottle. I need to buy more Huel, I ran out, but it's expensive. Knife time, so just gonna wipe all the little kind of bits of dust and filings off that you get. If you cut something straight after sharpening your knife, you're going to get bits of metal in your food. That's not fun. And just to make sure it's nice and sharp, I'm just going to clean bit of tissue. I always love doing this. This is like my favourite thing. So you fold over the tissue, take your nice sharp knife and run it down. If you get a nice... It's always hard to see because the camera's so blown out because I've got these strong lights on. Hang on, let me just turn that off for a sec. If you get these little cuts in the paper, that means your knife's sharp. If your knife can cut through paper, it can cut through fucking anything. Right. Right, so now I'm just gonna cut off these little metal bits of the chorizo. Just gonna slice it in half so it's easier to work with. Put that out the way. And then we want not too thin but not too thick slices. I'm just gonna cut this little knob off because that's not even. And then, always with our knuckles forward, fingers behind the knuckles. That way you're never going to cut your fingers. You want to kind of grip your knife like this. So you want to put your finger over the blade like that and hold it with your other 3 fingers. That way you've got more control over your knife. Just making some nice even cuts. So we've got just about the thickness of like I would say I would call that like almost a pound coin thickness. So that would be like, I don't know, 1.5 quarters thick. Because you don't want it too thin, because otherwise it's going to start to burn. But if it's too thick, it's going to not be crispy. So I actually greatly pride myself on my knife work. I'm not as fast or as accurate as I used to be when I worked professionally in the kitchen, but I can cut things fast and evenly. Because I spent plenty of time doing it. Jesus Christ. Okay. And also what you want to do is something like this. This is just a kind of a cured smoked sausage, like a pepperoni or whatever. Or a salami. They're all pretty much the same thing. They have this kind of natural sausage skin casing on the outside, and you can cut that off. But the thing is, I like to leave it on the pizza because it's a little bit tough to eat raw. But once the chorizo has cooked on the pizza, the skin softens and you can just eat it normally. You don't even notice it's there. But what it does is, because it's like made out of natural, I don't know, whatever sausage skin's made out of, it shrinks a little bit because it contracts under the heat, and then just makes the little pepperonis just twist up a little bit so they pop up like little cups and they look pretty. That's what I like. And it makes the edges of the pepperoni, like, you know when you see that on like a really good pizza, where the little edges of the pepperoni stick up and they're a little bit charred and they're a little bit extra crispy. That's because you haven't removed the casing. So I've got this little kind of round bit. This is hard to slice because you're slicing it at an angle, so I'm just going to put that to the side. I won't use that today. I'll use that in like a soup, or I'll dice that up and make little bits of cubed chorizo that I'll put in a burrito with some chicken or something like that. That way you don't end up with any like odd or weird bits, because those odd or weird bits don't cook evenly and they don't look nice. Food's got to look good. I always remember hearing you taste with your eyes as much as with your mouth. That's what the Italian head chef would tell me when he was screaming at me when he didn't like how my salad looked. Or he didn't like how I plated my fucking seafood pasta. Yeah, you get yelled a lot at work. You get yelled at a lot working in a kitchen. It's not fun. It's not nice. It's a very, very bad culture of like machoism and bullying and basically employee abuse. It's very toxic. And there are almost no women in any kitchens, in professional kitchens at all. It's all just dumb, greasy, stupid dudes, including me. I've been all 3 of those things, all 4 of those things. Not all the time. Right. Cool. Just gonna whack the second chorizo. The best part, I like my food reinforced. I ate so much metal I became a magnet. No, that's really bad. Like if you... Camera, do you want to focus, please? Still not open. Does camera want to focus? Camera want to focus? Probably want a cracker? You want to focus on my face, camera? Bruh? You starting, bro? There we go, bruh. Yeah, you definitely don't want to eat that. You don't want to eat tiny bits of metal. That's not good. Okay. Just put that off camera. And just... Again, I'll just slice all of these. I'm not going to use all of it. I'll use enough to cover the pizza. But whatever I don't use can just go in the fridge. I can use that on something else because this is cured meat. It keeps forever. You can put this in your freezer and it will literally keep for months and months and months. Like, this is the kind of thing, even if it gets like a little skin of mold on it, it's still perfectly edible. Like, you go to, like, you know, Italy or Spain or Portugal, and these are just out at room temperature in the supermarket. They're just hanging up. And they'll hang up for years because they age. So this shit literally never goes bad. And we're coming up to the corner again, so again that's going to go in the burrito and soup chorizo pile. So I'm really pleased with how just even these are. These are all kind of about the same thickness, which means they're going to cook evenly. That means they'll all look nice and uniform. I mean, I remember, again, like I've had kitchens where I've had access to all this amazing equipment, and I've had like deli slicers, which firstly are the most terrifying thing in the fucking world. Those giant spinning blade with the shush 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 deli slicers. Those things are fucking terrifying. I used to hate using them, but they're amazing because you can get anything you want sliced perfectly, all the same thickness, any thickness you want. Bruh, it's amazing. I remember making like a sous vide like whole fillet of beef, slicing that thing so thinly on the deli slicer, putting that in a sandwich with some mustard and some like watercress, bruh. But it's really nice for slicing things like aubergines and courgettes because they're all the same thickness, so they all look perfect when you cook them. And like one more and we're done. Just that one can be for me. I love pork. Pork is like the best meat. It's so good. Just gonna take these little hunks of chorizo and just wrap them up and stick them back in the fridge. What James doesn't get yelled at, tell us that is he also gets yelled at during rehearsals. Oh my god. No, nobody yells at me at rehearsals because I'm the biggest and scariest one. No, nobody yells at me, which is good. Yeah, out of all the jobs I've had, KKB is probably the one where I get yelled at the least, which I'm very happy about. Being yelled at in your workplace is no fun for anyone. Right, I'm just going to get a little bowl. Used this guy already a couple times, so just dry it. It's got a little bit of water in it. Just pop all these in the bowl, and then I'm going to pop them in the fridge. Almost said freezer. I'm going to pop them back in the fridge just so they stay cool, because if you leave these out at room temperature, again, the natural fat... Excuse me, that's a bit of pepper. The natural fat in the chorizo will start to soften, and it'll get all kind of gross and squishy and squidgy and not very nice, so... I'm going gonna put that back in the fridge. Alright, what else do we need to prep? Not a whole lot. Hello, Multi-Banana Man 321. Happy pagan holiday. Yeah, I am not religious and I don't care about Christmas, so I don't give a fuck. That's why I'm making pizza. So let me just lift this out the little water bath I have this in. So as we can see, the pizza dough is starting to kind of spread out a little bit. This still needs quite a way to go before it's fully proved, so I'm just going to pop that down. Trying to think about what else I have to do. So chorizo is all nice and prepped. Oh yeah, I can prep my cheese as well, because cheese, for Detroit style pizza, it's not the cheese you would expect. Bruh. So, I've been lucky enough, I've been to Detroit twice, I've eaten Detroit pizza in Detroit twice, and it's been amazing both times. I was very, very lucky this year. I got to go to Buddy's Pizza. Well, I got takeout from Buddy's Pizza in Detroit, which is the original, the OG. It's not the best, according to a Detroit native, but it is the OG Detroit-style pizza restaurant, and I went there and I had it, and it was absolutely delicious. They use a special kind of cheese which you only get in the Midwest. You should have a dough cam. I had one. Oh, actually, yeah. You know, that would be funny. I mean, you would literally be watching dough rise, so it probably wouldn't be that entertaining. I'll show you. I'll give you periodic updates. But yeah, so the cheese they use on Detroit-style pizza only really exists in the Midwest. It's a type of cheese called brick cheese, and it's kind of like a slightly more mature than like a mozzarella, a little bit more tangy, a little bit more nutty, a little bit more fatty cheese. It's kind of just like a soft white, well, kind of like a medium white cheese. It's not too liquidy, it's quite kind of firm, despite not being terribly hard. And it's not like, it's a bit more mature than mozzarella, but it's not so like sharp to where it would be like dry and kind of crumbly like sharp cheddar would be. But that only exists in the Midwest. What I've seen, hi Andrew, how's it going? Let's go get this bread. We got the bread, hang on, I'll show you the bread. The bread is just over here, just rising. That's our pizza dough. Just doing its thing, just chilling out, just proving. So yeah, the alternative if you aren't in the Midwest and you can't get brick cheese is an American thing called Monterey Jack cheese, but that doesn't I like my cheese mature. That doesn't, oh definitely, like all like cheeses have their use. There are some mature cheese, like some uses for mature cheeses, some you don't want them to be mature. Like typically on pizza you want to use mozzarella, which is like basically brand new, it's not aged at all. But yeah, so Monterey Jack cheese doesn't exist in the UK. American cheeses are really weird, like American sports and American politics, America has its own unique brand of stuff, and it's not the best, to be honest. Like, I know that the FDA is really strict on cheese, and all cheese in America is absolutely destroyed by overpasteurization. That's why you can't get real things like Brie and Camembert in America, because they're supposed to be unpasteurized, which is when you boil the milk to kill any pathogens in them before it's made into cheese. But cheese is made from mold. Cheese is literally a living organism. That's the whole point. So by pasteurizing it, it doesn't make it properly. So all American cheese has this, even like cheddar. American cheddar tastes nothing like real cheddar. All American cheese seems fake and processed and kind of not very good to me. So we don't have Monterey Jack. It doesn't exist in this country. What I've got is just some Dutch Gouda. It's already pre-sliced because this is kind of all I could get because it's close to Christmas. I couldn't find the big hunks of it. So this is Dutch Gouda, which is similar to something like Edam, but it's a little bit more tangy. And again, this is kind of like a medium fat, kind of soft but not too soft cheese. It melts really, really nicely. It has kind of like a little bit of a sweet, nutty flavour, and it's a little bit more tangy than something like a mozzarella. So what I'm going to do is, because I can't grate this because it's already sliced, I'm just going to start cutting this into little ribbons. Ugh. The dough do just be vibing. Yeah, American cheese, like, it's not like a joke. American cheese does taste like plastic. It's because it is overly processed because of things like overpasteurization and all the kind of stupid rules. The FDA is fucking stupid. Like, the amount of rules that America puts on its food that just don't improve it and make things worse. Like, for example, like, all eggs in America are like washed in like a chemical bath, which is meant to kill bacteria and kill salmonella. But what it does is it strips the egg of its natural coating. That's why eggs have to be kept refrigerated in America. Eggs do not belong in the fridge. Like, eggs should never be kept in the fridge. Eggs on their own, naturally, like if you get an egg from a chicken, naturally that thing will keep fresh for like a month at room temperature. Eggs are amazing. It's a bit of a pain in the ass slicing through this. Because I'm slicing through a whole like rack of cheese at once. Bruh. But yeah, the amount of kind of bizarre, and then again, like chicken in America is like washed in chlorine again to kill pathogens, and it's just like, no, dude, you don't do that. It's fucking horrible. But then there are things like no regulations on how much sugar you can put in drinks. Like, I've got a bottle of Dr. Pepper in the fridge. I complain about this all the time because I don't get it. Like, UK Dr. Pepper has like 1/3 of the sugar that American Dr. Pepper has, and there's no sweetener. There's not stevia or anything like that in there, or aspartame. That's just like full sugar. But for some reason, the American one has 3 times as much sugar in it. I remember when I was in America and I drink like a full sugar drink, I want to throw up. Yeah, everyone in KKB, we all like our food. Jenny's a vegan, so she doesn't eat cheese, but we all seriously like our food. And we do find that kind of alienating being in America. So I've got this my cheese cut into little ribbons, so I'm just going to start just mincing it, just getting into little tiny bits, because I want to act like I've been grating it, so just into little bits. It's going to clump together a little bit, but that's fine. I'm kind of out of breath from doing this because I'm like cutting so many. I'm cutting the cheese, bruh. That's not a joke we have in England, by the way. Who cut the cheese? That's not a thing. Hi Matthias, how's it going? Thanks for joining me. Thank you so much to, oh wow, 11 people I didn't even see. Thank you so much to all 11 of you for joining me on your Christmas. I hope I'm not taking you away from your families and loved ones. But thank you very much for joining me. We're making pizza because that's how we do. Eating that wonton soup, that's just how we do. Bruh. Right. So nice, kind of very finely diced cheese. It looks more fine in person than it does on the camera. The camera makes it look kind of bigger than it is. So again, the smaller pieces it's in, the better it'll melt. So what we need is, again, according to the recipe, we need 340 grams of cheese. This packet is 240 grams of cheese, so I have a little bit more in the fridge. What else I got? Because I can't get proper brick cheese or Monterey Jack cheese, which are kind of the correct cheese of Detroit pizza in the UK. So what I also have is just a bag of pre-shredded, I know it's a sin, pre-shredded mozzarella and cheddar blend. And that, what I'll do is, because shredded cheese doesn't melt properly, it just tends to kind of burn. So that will go on the bottom of the pizza first. And again, the more mature side of, like with the cheddar in, that's going to give it a little bit more tang. So I'll put that on the bottom, and this lovely Gouda will go on top. And that's the part that will melt, and this will give it the lovely cheesy crust. Actually, there's one thing I need to do after I've done shredding this cheese. Is line the crust, because if you look at any Detroit pizza, when I went to Buddy's Pizza, this was the most incredible part of it, was there's this beautiful layer of cheese around the outside of the crust, and that's where they put cheese outside the crust, and then it cooks and almost burns against the side of the pan, and it gives you this really deep, dark, rich, amazing flavour. It's absolutely incredible. Just gonna give that like one little pass to the knife. So what I'm just gonna do, hit back to dough cam for a minute, just going to take this out of the hot water. I can probably actually change this water because it's now getting cold because it's been in a big metal pan. Just going to drain that off. Take the plastic off. Just doing this off camera because it's dripping a little bit. Right, here we go. Here's how our dough is looking. It's just slumped down a little bit. So it's starting to rise. We want it to kind of be, and it's much, much softer, and you can stretch it out now, but I want this to be like bubbling. I want this to be like really kind of like, almost like a witch's brew. It's got to be kind of like, it's very, very soft. You could put this in the oven right now, it would make a delicious pizza, but Detroit pizza is supposed to be really kind of light and bubbling and full of space. There's already some bubbles in there, but it's got to be a bit more. If I put some hot water in there, this will probably ready to go in like half an hour. God, I'm out of breath. Most of us look finer in person, but yeah, I definitely fucking do. Right, anyway, so just gonna thumb in the edge of the crust, just bring it in a little bit, and then we can stretch it back after we're done. So we can just fold a little bit of cheese in on the side. Oh, it's all gone back. Okay, that didn't work. Right. Just not a huge amount, just a little line, and it gets all the way down there. Because if you put the cheese in after it's risen, it won't get all the way down there. And you want it all the way down there. Actually, I did have, in all places, I had, in like, I mean, I'm in the most amazing place for food in the world. I'm in Mexico City. I did eat Little Caesars pizza in Mexico City, and it was fine. It was like about as good as something like Domino's or Papa John's. But that's again like pseudo Detroit style, and it does have the cheese around the edge. So I appreciate you probably can't see what I'm doing right now because the camera's not in the way, but again, it's that cheese around the crust, bruh. I haven't heard this song in a while. Oh, this used to be like song 2 on the playlist, like my stream songs playlist, but it's not anymore. Like the playlist has been like updated. It's got a bunch of weird stuff on there now, like Pokemon rap. I haven't heard the Jack Black song in a while as well. Let's just drag this back. Okie dokie, so now what I've done is I've just put this cheese all the way down in the crust, and I'm now just going to crimp it back. When this dough has risen more, it will fully rise up and like cover and envelop the cheese. So it's going to be all the way down there, perfectly crispy all the way to the bottom. Alright, let's just change this water for some warm water again. So this dough will continue to rise. Oops, get rid of this sticky wet plastic. Bro, that's the thing about this is why your hands get torn up when you cook, because your hands are always getting wet and you're always drying them. Right, let's try and do this without spilling anything. There we go. Didn't make a mess. Let's just warm the tray up a little bit so it stays warm for longer. Some nice hot water. I can just leave this here for like a minute so it gets nice and hot. Woohoo! Bruh. Woohoo indeed. Well, yeah, okay, once again, I know I keep saying it, but I'm genuinely surprised. I appreciate you being here with me on Christmas Day. I know, like, there's always that part of Christmas where you're with your family and you go off for, like, between, always used to be, like, between Christmas lunch and when the royal family came on, like, the sitcom, not the real royal family, because fuck them. There'd always be, like, a couple hours where you could go off and be by yourself for a little bit, and I'd go play, like, Xbox or something. Whoop. Oh, yeah, it was like, yeah, between Christmas lunch and, like, Doctor Who time. That's when you go have a little bit of time for yourself. Alright, cool. This is nice and warm now. I'm actually going to leave this by the sink with the dough on it. That probably makes way more sense. Just keeping it here so I don't make a fucking mess taking it over again. And I can just top the hot water up. Yay! I'm a genius. So as again, like I said, we're just putting some hot water in a tray underneath the tray the pizza is proofing in. So that will just gently heat the pizza dough from the bottom and it will make the yeast rise quicker. Right, let's get another bowl and whack all this cheese that I've cut up in there. Where are my bowls? Will that do? Got a little plastic container. I've got to use my hands. And I can pop this back in the fridge as well so the cheese doesn't clump together. I remember one of my jobs I had at one of my awful kitchen jobs. It was at the catering company, and they lied to me. And my job was supposed to be, because it was all the food they had sucked, and it was really just the company was really dated, and the stuff they were doing was awful. And they brought me in because I was like young and interesting and good at like cooking fresh, kind of new, interesting food, like just like bougie new food, rather than this kind of stuffy, like really dated stuff they had. And they were going to hire me to work in the office, not in the fucking kitchen, as a consultant, and I was going to design them new menus, and I was going to be their like branding and social media person, and I was going to get them new fucking clients by designing them new food. I turned up on the first day and they said, we're short people in the kitchen, just jump in for today. And then I stayed there for 2 weeks. Just working in the fucking kitchen. Doing things like shredding big like tubs of like shredding a 5 kilo block of just fucking cheddar all day, and peeling fucking potatoes. And then they lied to me about how much they pay me as well. They ended up paying me like half of what they said they would, and it was cash in hand. This place was dodgy as fuck, and it was staffed by like, they were paying below minimum wage, and the staff were kind of like exploited people without documentation, and it was just really fucked. And they tried to swindle me out of my money, and I just walked away. I said, you go fuck yourselves. Yeah, that sucked. It's really unfortunate the amount of kitchen jobs that just are horrible and exploitative and abusive workplaces. Now this was really horrible. There were these poor people who were sitting here, working here, in these awful conditions, and they weren't getting even paid minimum wage because he could get away with it because they weren't documented. It was fucked. Guy around that company was evil. James Stream brackets family lunch. Oh, I thank you. I'm very grateful for you giving me your time. Proper Crim Bow Selector. Cancelled. Yeah. Oh man, Bow Selector was so funny back in the day, but that shit's like really bad now. That's like beyond. That's like the most offensive thing that's been on British television. It's pretty wild. ITV used to be pretty fucking racy back in the day. Now they're just racist. Zing. Just gonna a nice clean knife. So you don't ever want to leave sharp knives in the sink. That's how you get cut, and also that's how your knife gets blunt and chipped. Just gonna get a little more soap on the boy. I'm just going to sharpen the knife one more time before I put it back in the block as well. It's always good to sharpen your knife before and after you use it. Yep. Yeah, no thanks to that, lol. Yeah, that like ITV Stormzy thing like in the last week was fucking disgraceful. I'm embarrassed of my country sometimes. Absolute bullshit they peddle. And they issued like a bullshit like correction tweet, not even like a takedown. They didn't even like take it down. It's absolute wank. Anyone from ITV is watching. Actually, if anyone from any British media company is watching. You're all bastards. Just gonna dry the cans for a little bit. Do I look menacing? Right, okay. Just gonna again give that a little final. I remember the first time I ever did this, it was fucking terrifying, and I was like, can you hear the noise? Hang on. That's a good noise. I remember the first time I ever did that, I was fucking terrified, like slicing my hand off. But you get used to it, and you get more confident as you go on. Just gonna clean this off. So I'm not even folding it, and it's just slicing through the paper. Love a nice sharp knife. Swap it one, boys. Right. I need a drink, bro. Damn. This is indeed a very chill Christmas. Hi, Victor. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I was a bit on edge last week when I did my cooking stream because I wasn't sure what I was getting myself, except for the sharpening of the knife. I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into. It was kind of like a bit of an unknown. I don't get nervous before I don't get nervous before I play or before I stream. But I was a bit like, after I finished making the burger, I was like, what do I do now? And I was a bit worried that I'd only been streaming for like not even an hour, and I was kind of I felt like I'd failed. Tasty. Oh, that water's warm. Ugh, gross. Hang on. Sorry, I'm wasting water, bruh. Oh, it's still warm. That's the thing when you have like central heating, the water stays like, the pipes all get hot. But this water's still warm, come on. Right, here we go. Ugh. Absolutely nothing grosser than warm water. There we go, nice icy boy from outside. It's cold as fucking Liverpool right now, it really is. Freezing. I'm being absolutely shafted by my energy company as well, and my shitty landlord who didn't make my house like not cold or insulated or not drafty. I'm just sitting there like burning all of my money just keeping my fucking house warm. Bruh. Welcome to the UK. It's cold and everything's expensive. Hi Pitch, how's it going, dude? Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, thank you, Victor. Oh, did you send me the DM the other day? Sorry, I haven't got back to answering yet. Sorry, I've been like busy the last couple of days. We all love that flag. Thank you so much. Actually, I was gonna grab it at the end because I was like, do you need it back? Because I wasn't sure if you were giving it to us or you needed it back because it was so nice. I was like, this is such a work of art. I was like, I'm so glad I got to put it on my amp and wave it during the show. But I was like, oh, do you need it back? But Jamie just grabbed it and walked off with it, and he was like, that's going on my wall at home. So Jamie's got it now. I wanted it, but it's all good. I'm glad he got it. It was super sick. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. I had a wicked time playing in Mexico. It was awesome. What the fuck have I walked into? High pitch. We've just so I've got, hang on, I'll just show it here. We've got dough cam here. This is just where my pizza dough is just slowly proving and rising. I'm just working out what I have to do next because I prepped the sauce, I've prepped the cheese, and I have prepped the chorizo. Actually, I can just skim some of this liquid off the top of the sauce because some of the water's all risen to the top now. It's still, I should have drained these tomatoes a bit better. It's still too runny. I don't want to. What I can do, I have just some tomato paste here, and you can just like squirt a teaspoon of tomato paste in. Oh, thank you so much. That's so kind of you. I'm just going to stir in like a little bit of tomato paste, and what that will do is that will just thicken up the liquid side of it. I don't like how tomato paste tastes. It's too bitter, and it's too kind of like acidic because they put too much citric acid in it to preserve it, but that'll just stop this from being too runny, because if the sauce is runny, the pizza's going to suck. You can't have like a sauce that's too liquidy, because then the cheese won't crisp up, the dough won't crisp up, pepperoni won't crisp up. Anyway, so what do I have? I'll tell you what I can do. I can start turning the oven on now. So cooking any pizza, all pizza needs to be cooked at the highest temperature possible. So it doesn't matter if you're making little thin and crispy Neapolitan pizza, wood-fired pizza, big thick pizza, Chicago style, like deep dish style. You need to cook it as high as you can. So I'm putting my oven to the highest it goes, which is 230 degrees, which is just shy under 500 degrees Fahrenheit for people in America who use the wrong measurements. And then you want to preheat the oven for a really good amount of time, like good half hour, 45 minutes. So the oven is fully inside, fully up to temperature. And you have to be really careful when you open that door, because all the air rushes out and the oven can drop like 40 degrees. And by the time the pizza's cooked, it's got back to being hot enough again. The hotter the oven is, the better the pizza cooks, because the top will brown and crisp sooner, the dough will crisp sooner, and it'll stop the pizza from drying out and being hard. It'll still be, excuse me, soft and chewy and delicious in the middle. So I reckon we still need good another half hour on this pizza to rise. It's rising nicely, but it's not quite there yet. I'll let the oven preheat for like half an hour as well. I'm trying to think about what else we can do, bro. See, this is where I usually go and like play computer for like 10 minutes. Sauce is ready, chorizo is ready, cheese is ready. I don't need to prep really much else, do I? Just trying to think. Cooking is a funny game. Well, if oh my god, I'm just gonna chill for a minute. So if anyone wants to, anyone has any questions for me, fire away. I tell you what, I cannot wait till this is done. It's gonna look banging. Even though you're probably all super full. Hang on, I know what I could do. Let's see, can I do this? Is this gonna work? Let's mute this. No, I don't want to fix my microphone. Brunga games are super fun. I think we had Asaya was the GOAT. He won like 2 of the 3 rounds, and I won the 3rd one. I got my first Brunga games victory. Hang on, let me just add source. No, that shouldn't say that. Oh, hang on, here we go. Bruh. Obviously nothing inappropriate, but yeah. If you have any questions for me, fire away. I'm just trying to get a little window capture up. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Yay! Here we go. Right, I'm just gonna slam some Survivio for like 10 minutes, just while we're waiting. There we go. Enter my name. Flat Earth Mom, of course. Gone, reduced to atoms. Alright, here we go. Oh my god. I used to play this game so much. For about a month, I mained this game. Oh shit, no, he's got a gun. Oh no, 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 bro, we're gonna... This is the true battle royale. This was so weird sitting on my knees doing this. So this is just like a little crappy top-down... Oh, hello, shotguns. A little crappy top-down battle royale game. It's actually super fun. I really like it. And when I didn't have a good enough computer to run like Fortnite or PUBG, this is what I played. I want to do more PUBG again, I have to say. PUBG like terrifies me. Hang on. Oh, nice, the Tomb Raider reboot. I haven't played any of the reboots. I remember playing the classic ones like back in the day. I remember like locking the butler in the freezer and all that jazz. But I haven't played any of the new ones. I understand the new ones are less like classic Tomb Raider and they're more kind of like, oh, gold. Oh, I got killed. And they're more like Uncharted games. Oh, dang. I killed myself. Oh, I shot the barrel and it rebounded off and got me. Just waiting for the dough to rise. Cash money. Yeah, I understand the new Tomb Raiders are more like the Uncharted games, which again I've never really played, but they don't really seem like my thing. I'm sure I've heard like good things about all of them. Like I've never had anyone say this is like terrible. I guess if you just like stuff like Uncharted and like adventure games, it's probably really chill, but it's probably not that much in the vibe of like classic Tomb Raider. Oh hello, got a little Glock. Cash money. Young money. Sorry, you can't see my face. Oh hello, got a little subby. Oh, I'm a gack this guy. I'm 100 gack this guy. Oh, he's got a gun. He's got a gun. My window's not big enough. Oh, he got me. Damn. Can I like hang on? Let me, because I've got dual. I haven't got both my monitors up at the moment, so I've got like split screen. Here we go. That's a bit better. I can see a bit better now. Oh, now I can't. A favourite game series? Oh, it's got to be Metal Gear. Oh, hello, bro. Moment. I don't know if I've seen you here before. Oh, damn, he got me. Hello, Asheris. Nice to see you again. Thank you for joining. We're just doing some Survivio at the moment. We're waiting for our dough to rise. It needs like a little bit more time. My favorite game series absolutely has to be Metal Gear Solid. I'm a full-on Kojima stan. Metal Gear Solid 2 is my favorite game ever. I also super love all the Fallout games, apart from Fallout 4. Love all the Elder Scrolls games. Love fucking Gran Turismo. I'm about that life. Oh, that guy's giving me a thumbs up. That means he's not got any bullets. That means I could probably kill him. Is he giving me a gun? I'm gonna get this guy. Oh, hello. I got punched to death, bruh. Finimate PUBG. Alright, thanks for joining me, everyone. Appreciate you all being here on Christmas Day. If you want to ask me anything, I'm taking questions. While I'm sitting here playing this crappy browser game, just for 10 more minutes. Oh, I love Death Stranding. I haven't played it on stream yet because I know a lot of people don't want spoilers for it. I think that's why I've put off playing it again on stream. But I have been playing it like when I've had days where I've not felt very good and I've just wanted to sit in bed all day and do nothing. That's when I like take the monitor and my PlayStation into my bed and I just sit and play Death Stranding in bed all day. It's like not a game you can pick up and put down easily. It's like when you play it, you got to commit for like a good few hours. Fuck. Yes. You have to commit for like a good few hours when you play that game. I absolutely love it. I really enjoy the gameplay. I think the story's amazing. I still haven't even got that far in. So there's still so much to take on, so much to learn, and so much to do. Like I've only just unlocked like the automatic delivery walker things, so there's still so much to learn. But I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic so far. I want to play it. It's just like it's just finding the time to sit down and commit to playing it. Because if I play it, I'm going to be playing it all day, and I got stuff I want to do. Oh, hi Katie, thanks for joining me. Appreciate you being here. We just don't have much food going on at the moment, so we're just waiting. We're all ready to go make our pizza. The dough just needs to rise a little bit more, so I'm just playing some Survivio and answering some questions. Hope you and your family are having a nice Christmas. The cat is meowing in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. After I die, I will come say hi to the cat for a minute. Hello, Luna. I'm inside the safe zone. But I hope you all having a good time with your families. Oh, I've got 12 viewers. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you all joining me. Thank you for giving me your time. Oh no, I'm being shot. Oh no, I switched guns. Oh, I don't want that. Fuck, I'm missing him. Oh, he's not got much health. Oh no, run out of bullets. No, bruh. It's 10:31 p.m. and I want to eat pizza. It's 9:30 p.m. and I'm about to eat pizza, so I feel you on that one, bro. Right, I'm just put the headset down for a second. I'll grab the cat. Hang on. Oh, she doesn't like being picked up in the kitchen. She's not comfortable here. Right, you want to come here, baby? Come on. Come on. Come on. You want to say hi to everyone in chat? Oh, she doesn't like it. She doesn't want to be cuddled in the kitchen, do you, baby? It's 2:32 p.m. Come on. You want to say hi? Oh, there she is. Oh, Christmas kitty. You got a big bag of Dreamies for a Christmas present, didn't you, baby? Oh, you're all wriggly. She doesn't want to stay in the kitchen. I gotta wash my hands now. Pizza's looking good, actually. It'll continue to rise when we put it in the oven, but you want to proof it, especially for Detroit style. You want to kind of proof it first, like, ah. Yeah, no, Luna doesn't like. There are places she's really comfortable in. Like if I try and pick her up when she's outside, she'll like freak out. She doesn't like it. You're at the Canadian Rockies with your family. Wow. Well, I hope you're having a sick time. I've seen the American Rockies, not the Canadian ones, and they are beautiful. So I hope you're having a sick old time. Hang on, I'm just gonna fix my hair. Bruh. Yeah, I was gonna say that must be cold as hell. Right, hang on. I'm like budget ninja right now playing Survivio in my kitchen with my like clapped hair that needs to be re-dyed. You're like 10 more minutes and pizza's going to be ready to dress and put in the oven. Oh, hello, let's get me some grenades. Ree. Oh, hello. Hola. Alright, let's just reload this bad boy. This thing will stop a mule. I know, I love Luna too. Luna's great. She's been like so, it's because it's cold, she wants to be around me all the time, and she wants to like sit on me and cuddle me all the time because she's cold. Oh, hello. Got that AK-4 came in with that AK-47. It is, and you don't even have the right gear worth. I tell you what, part of the reason why the KKB tour, when we just finished, was routed why it was to deliberately avoid Canada in the cold. We got Canada out the way like in like October, so we weren't sitting there freezing. Because last year, the tour finished in Montreal, and by then it was like almost December by the time we got to Canada, and it was cold. I have to say, we were in Poland a week later. Poland in the winter is the coldest place I've ever been in my entire life. Ah. Come on. Ah, damn, come on. Poland is... Oh, shit, I'm reloading. Ah, damn, you got me. Poland is... Like, Warsaw in the winter, in December, was the coldest I've ever been in my entire life. Way colder than Canada. Damn. You want to go hiking and you have... Docks would not be the worst shoe for hiking. I'd rather have Docks on than, like, Converse. Oh, I'm at the jail. Oh no, I'm about to get glacked. Oh no. Oh, hang on. Oh, my nose is running a little bit. Oh, I know. Yeah, those two kittens you posted. Like, Catherine's watching some kittens for your neighbor, I believe, and you posted them on Discord. They're so cute. If you're in chat and you're not on Discord, make sure you join the Discord. It's plenty of fun. That's where we plan all the streams and share memes and do a bunch of stuff. And you'll see stuff on there that you won't see anywhere else. Aww. Made a trip out in disguise as... Oh no. Be nice. No. Oh, he's reloading. Oh, he got me. You're from the more metropolitan side where... Oh, you're from Poland. Oh, wow. Last winter was absolutely freezing. I have to say, I've been lucky enough to go to Poland 3 times. I fucking love Poland. Poland's great. I've been to Warsaw, Katowice, and Gdansk, and they were all wicked. Poland is like one of the best places to get food everywhere I've ever been. It was awesome. Incredible food. Everything's cheap. The place is beautiful. One thing I really liked about Poland was it's so clean. Everything's clean as fuck. Like all the cities I've been to, like there's no litter anywhere. It's just perfect. Everyone's really nice and friendly. Poland's wicked. Zippy and Zoom. Aww. Yeah, I've only ever seen the cities in Poland, and I had a really good time there. I really liked it. Oh, hello. Oh! Yes! Actually, no, I want to keep that. I'll take this. It's kind of like not a great assault rifle. Okay, let's go. Oh no, I don't want this. I want the shot. Where's the shoddy? Where's my shoddy? Oh, I lost my shoddy. Oh, is there someone here? Oh, Batman. Oh, he took it. Yes! I'm a killing machine. I can get my shoddy back. Hang on. Oop. Take my little energy drink, just like being in Death Stranding. Oh damn! Yeah, I guess I've only seen like the most metro places, so I guess that's my. Oh damn! You got me. I'm just gonna put the music back on. Like the music auto pauses after like each hour. It's so annoying. Yeah, I've only been to Gdansk, Katowice, and Warsaw, and I think they're all quite touristy places, so that's why. But it was like everything was so pristine. Oh damn! Yeah, I have to say New York is fully cold. Like all the east coast of America is freezing. You brought the Arizona sun with you, fire. Oh hello, there's some guns. Just gonna get this. My big old. Oh hello, a little bit of lag. Oh, Mosin Nagant. That's like 4chan's gun of choice. Right. Damn, son. Where'd you find this? I think after I've died this time, we'll check the pizza again. We should be right. Oh, hello. Oh, damn. That sucked. Alright. Yeah, you know, I think pizza's good to go. It's going to rise while we dress it as well. It's going to continue to... Alright, let me just get rid of this. There we go. Let's make this full screen again. I'm back. Yeah, it was great when I went there. It was a really beautiful city too. Like it was, and the same with Gdansk as well. Like I loved all the historic stuff. It was great. Like Katowice was kind of more like industrial, and all the buildings were huge. But Gdansk was really pretty. Right, here we go. So now, as you can see, the dough has like risen way more. It's way more kind of bubbly and sticking up, and it's kind of about halfway up the side of the pan, and once it's fully cooked it will be like probably about 3/4. It's going to be closer to the top. What I'm also going to do is I'm also going to take this other stainless steel tray I have here. I'm just going to tip the water off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the oven now, so this gets nice and hot. So my oven's been preheating, my oven's getting lovely and hot. This is all the water will just dry off. That's going to get lovely and hot. So when I put this pan on, it'll have a hot surface to start on, and then that will kind of already start to cook the bottom. What you can do, I'm not going to do it with this because it's a new pan, but what you can do is you can just put this on the gas burner and just heat the bottom, and it's almost like making like a grilled cheese sandwich. It'll just start to toast the bottom, but I don't want to ruin this pan because it's brand new and it's nice. You don't need to do that, that's just kind of like an extra step. But putting a nice hot pan underneath your pan so it has a hot surface to go on so the bottom doesn't kind of get soft. So, how we make Detroit style pizza is pretty much upside down to making any kind of regular pizza. So I'm just going to get all my toppings out. I got some of this cursed pre-shredded cheese that's just going to go on the bottom. So first thing you do, pepperoni goes on the bottom, then cheese, then sauce. So the pepperoni goes underneath the sauce, underneath the cheese. So you can't actually really see it on the finished pizza, and that I think that's for a couple of reasons. Like I like it when the pepperoni gets crispy on top and it gets kind of extra little bit of a char going on. But having it under the cheese allows the cheese to get a bit crispier, and it also allows the sauce to be the first thing that you taste. That's going to hit your mouth, and that's what's going to, the sauce is what's going to make the impression, and the lovely crispy cheesy crust on this thing. So I'm just putting this in nice little straight rows. The chorizo's going to shrink as the pizza cooks, so you can put a fair amount on. Again, this is not light pizza, this is going to be heavy as hell, so I'm just darting this. Nice pretty little rows. But this pizza looks really great because it almost looks like it looks super minimal on top, because you just have the cheese and then these big 3 lines, like big stripes of sauce. And that's why Detroit style pizza looks so fucking great. I think there's a cat doing something. I'll check on that in a minute. Damn, son. Northwest Territories in Canada and it's minus 40 degrees. Jesus Christ. That is cold. Yeah, can a human even resist that? Bruh moment's having a bruh moment indeed. Okie dokie. We've got 10 people watching in chat. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for continuing to give me your Christmas day, watching me make pizza. Because I ain't eating a Christmas dinner because that sucks. It's too much effort. And you make all these sides and then nobody eats the broccoli or the sprouts. I eat the broccoli and the sprouts, but nobody else eats the broccoli and the sprouts. Half the people don't like the stuffing. Some people don't like the sausages. Someone always buys cranberry sauce, but nobody ever eats cranberry sauce. And then the Christmas pudding, like 3 people out of 10 like it. Java edition and call it Bubga Cling. What? Oh, a Java edition server. Yes, sorry. We running on Bedrock, so our Switch and portable friends can play with us. I'm almost done, just chorizoing up this bad boy. One more little row will do it. I still have plenty of chorizo left, so what you can do, you can then kind of dot a few little pieces on top, just so it doesn't look kind of too barren on top. But that's going to be the flavor layer. That's going to be the where you get the meaty, greasy, pizza-y goodness. So I'm just going to smack some of this pre-shredded kind of mozzarella and cheddar. How do I open this? On the bottom. Here we go. I don't usually shop at Morrison's, so I'm not used to how their packaging works. Just going to throw this on the bottom just to add a bit of extra flavour, just because it's got the cheddar in it, which is a bit sharper and a bit kind of more mature and a bit tangier than the Gouda I'm using. Right. Not a huge amount, just enough to kind of cover. We've got more than enough Gouda to make this pizza perfectly cheesy. And it'll give all the nice melty crispiness that we want. Because this pre-shredded cheese doesn't melt, it just burns. But underneath the layer of Gouda, it'll be fine. Alright, that's all we need. Just so we don't end up under-cheesed. So again, this is a pretty rich, heavy pizza. There's a lot of cheese on this, way more. When I'm making like Neapolitan pizza, I almost put hardly any cheese on it, and that is like fresh mozzarella. And I only use a tiny bit. Because Neapolitan pizza is all about the dough and the sauce, in my opinion. And so what you want to do, you want to go all the way up to the edges, again, so the cheese will crisp up against the metal pan, and it will sink down to the bottom, so you get that lovely cheesy crust all the way to the bottom. This is just going to look like a giant cheesy bake by the end of this. You won't be able to see any of the dough, but it's going to be there. Alright, looking good. Okay, that's nice. Nice and even. Just gonna dry my hands once again. I've got cheesy hands. So what I would say now I'll put the sauce on. There's still a little bit of water on top of the sauce. It's driving me crazy. Just trying to make sure the sauce isn't too wet, because it will make the pizza soggy. You lived in the UK like 5 years ago. Morrison's is actually one of the best supermarkets. It's actually really good. It's just not that close to my house when I go there very often. But Morrison's is great. So with the sauce for this, so the sauce goes on top of the cheese, and it's going to go in 3 stripes along the long side. And that looks really pretty. So I'm just going to start spooning the sauce on like this. Should have done the one in the middle first, but YOLO, right? There we go. So that's about like what? About that far, so it's going to be like here. I want to get my stripes nice and even. This music's very chill today. Lots of like MIDI MIDI Rhodes piano. Right, let's get this final little bit in, just in the middle. There we go, that looks lovely. Tiny bit more here. Let's just make that up into a nice little pile so it doesn't spread out too much. This is the signature Detroit style pizza. This is how you tell it apart from just other square or pan. This isn't grandma pizza. This isn't like square pan style pizza. This is how you tell it's its own thing. It's those 3 stripes. Well, I mean, we ain't even got started yet, Victor. In about 20 minutes, and this is done, it's gonna look fire, dude. Absolutely fire. So let me see. Let's put like just a few more pepperonis on. Well, chorizos. You can call them pepperonis. It's the same shit. That's, how many more do I want to put? I know when I got Buddy's Pizza in Detroit, I ordered what was called the Detroiter, which had pepperoni under and on top of the cheese. They called it like aged pepperoni or something like that under the cheese, and something else pepperoni on top of the cheese. Yeah, here we go. It's a shame it's on the shitty camera as well, my like cheaper webcam, serving you up pizza realness. Yeah, this is going to be really nice when it comes out. Really, really, really good. Okay. Whenever I've made this has become, since I started making this has become like my default pizza whenever I've made pizza now. It's become my favorite style. It's so good. Alright, so our oven is nice and hot. Our pizza is perfectly dressed and ready to go. That's how we looking. Don't let my cheese fall down. So I'm just gonna, so this is an important part of the operation. Getting the pizza in, you want to chuck it in as quickly as possible without leaving the oven door open, because the longer the oven door is open, you're losing heat, and the more heat you lose, the less good of a pizza you're gonna get. So I'm just gonna get my towel folded over nice and ready. Gotta get it in the door, on top of the tray that's already preheating, and get this door closed as quickly as possible. Let's go. Alright, we in. We did it, boys. We did it, Reddit. Okay, sick one. Right, just gonna give everything a little wipe down while we wait for that to cook. You have to resist the temptation. Don't open the oven door and check on it, because then you're gonna lose heat. Let's put this back in the fridge. Let's put my chorizo back in the fridge. Save that for another day. This little saucy boy, zinc saucier, can be rinsed. This little piece of plastic can just go in the bin. No vegetables. You know what? I actually love vegetables on pizza. I'm a big vegetable guy, but on authentic Detroit style pizza, it's just pepperoni and cheese, just the pep. And also, I definitely always think that less complicated pizzas are better. That's always my thing. Like when I make like Neapolitan style pizza, I just put just cheese and sauce, and it's hardly any cheese. It's mostly just sauce. It's like with burgers as well. I definitely feel the less complicated they are, the better they are. Because the thing you want with this pizza is the dough is really special, and that lovely crispy cheesy crust, that's the special part. So if you start to throw more toppings on, also vegetables have water, and when they cook they release the water, and you're going to get more of a soggy, soupy top of the pizza. James accidentally makes lasagna. Honestly, it is pretty damn close to a lasagna. But when I was lucky enough to have real ass deep dish in Chicago. It was like a lasagna, just with bread instead of like pasta. Neopet style pizza. That's a camouflage fridge right there. Yeah, I know. I don't like this kitchen. I mean, I rent this house. I don't own this house. I'm 27. I don't own a fucking house. I just rent, and the house has last been like updated about fucking 15 years ago, and all this shit's old and not very nice. I don't like it. I actually made my estate agent buy me a new fridge because the old one was so old the door wouldn't close properly, and I'm like, are you fucking serious? I can't use this. And I made them buy me a new fridge. My landlord's watching. Fuck you. Neopet style pizza. That smells. It's been in there for like 2 minutes. That smells so good already. Alright. Tell you what I can do, actually. Once it's in, it's not going to take long. So I have the big boy, big ass wooden cutting board. This is going to be perfect for slicing up that pizza on. Just put the fucking vape down. I'm being a degenerate. Let's go for some square plates to go with my square pizza. What I'll do is I'll just pop these to the side, and in the last, when I take the pizza out and start slicing it, I'll stick these in the oven just so they warm up. Because thing is, one thing I really hate cold food, and such an easy way to ruin a meal is by putting something hot and delicious on a cold plate, because it just makes the food fucking cold. So I always warm my plates up. Every meal I make, I love it. Well, hot meal anyway. The fridge is not of this reality. Well, at least it's new and it works properly. Right, so... Oh, that smells so good. Right, I can also get... You can't cut this with a pizza wheel because it's too thick, so I'm just going to get... This is still a chef's knife. It's still sharp, but it's not like my sharp knife. This isn't my, like, nicest, sharpest knife. This is just another chef knife. This is sharp enough to cut pizza with, but I wouldn't cut onions with this. It's like, you know, it's not sharp at all. If you use the sharp-ass knife to cut pizza, you're just going to end up blunting the knife, like, for no reason. You don't need a sharp knife to cut pizza. What else do I need to do? So I've got this. I can get some spatulas ready. That one's a bit too soft. I need one that's a bit stiffer. I've got a metal spatula somewhere. I think I washed it up earlier. Where did I put it? And this kitchen has too many drawers. I can't find any of my stuff. Like, all the drawers are small. This is like a normal person's kitchen, not a person who cooks. That always frustrates me so much. Like, normie kitchens are not designed. They're designed for people that like heat up stuff in the oven and make ready meals and make a roast dinner like every 2 weeks. Not people that actually cook. It's not practical. Where's my metal spatula? I'm sure I washed it up earlier. No, it's not in the draining board. Where is that big lad? Oh, I know, it's on the table because I did wash it up earlier and I used it to eat something that I made for lunch. Okay, that's fine. I'll just use this plastic one. That'll be fine. I can just use 2. I have lots of utensils. I have like a million spoons, a million spatulas because that's just useful. Especially when you make big ass meals like I do and you need them all. I like all these drawers. I have so many saucepans. I have so many trays. I love cooking. And I've stolen a lot of good high quality cookware from jobs that I've worked. Right. Oh man, that smells good. Right, I'll rinse these little things up. So when the pizza comes out, I'm gonna carve it up and I'm gonna have a slice and then I'm gonna head off and I'll let you all get back to your Christmas. Hope you're having a good time. I appreciate everyone being here. Like, I think most of you, like the viewer count's been like pretty consistent. I think a lot of you guys have stayed for like the whole stream. I really appreciate you being here and supporting me. Thank you. If you had a good time, just give a stream a like because I'm Jake Paul. Just give the stream a good old like for me. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. If you haven't joined the Discord, please do. All that helps me out. I've got a couple months off. I haven't got any gigs coming up, so I'm gonna just try and like have fun with my YouTube for a little bit and just try and make some regular vids, do some regular, more regimented streams. So if you smash the like button, it helps me out. And it lets me know what content you enjoy so I can make more of it in the future. Now, these cooking streams have been really fun. I've had a really good time doing it. I need to decide what I'm going to do next week, actually. If there's anything you want to see me cook, smash it in the chat. I'd love to do something a bit more homely, like not a roast dinner, but something like on that vibe. Beef Wellington. Lol. Hello, I'd like a 60-pound piece of beef, please. British pounds, not the weight pounds. Ugh. Oh, hi Armando, thank you so much. Well, I tell you what, Armando, you've come in at the right time, because in about 10 minutes, the most amazing Detroit-style pizza is coming out the oven. It's in there, and it smells fire, dude. It's going to be so delicious. Well, yeah, I appreciate you been working, you've been busy. You haven't got to come by all the time. You haven't even got to stop by for very long. Just popping by and saying hi is all you need to do. I appreciate it. That's all I could ask. That's all I want. Just glad that people are here and having a good time. Right, that's everything washed up. I've been a good boy and I've done my washing up as I go, so I haven't got a giant pile of stuff to wash up after the stream ends. Right. I'm just going to have a teeny tiny peek at the pizza and see how it's doing. I'm going to open the... Just crack... Nah, it still needs more time. Just going to crack the oven open so it doesn't let the heat out. Oh, that smells so good. That smells so good. Mmm. What else do I need to get ready? I can probably fix my hair. Damn, son. Oh, that's a nice pitch. Oh, that's a nice thing to get. What game did you get, and what do you think you're going to get for your friend? That's nice. My Steam's flat Earth mom. If anyone wants to get me anything, don't. I'm joking. I have enough games that I haven't played. I'm like so bad. Like I don't do it so much anymore because I don't have any money anymore. But like like when I was like at uni and shit, Steam sale, I just be like, yeah, let's just buy that. Let's just buy that. Like £4, let's buy that. £12, let's just buy that. And I got all these games I never played. Like, when am I going to get around to playing Monaco? Bruh, never. Oh, damn. I'll tell you what though, it's like 10 o'clock. I'm fucking hungry. I haven't eaten very much all day. I'm looking forward to smashing a big bit of this pizza, then going to bed. I haven't slept very well the last couple of days. It's been cold and the cats have been like too needy at bedtime. They've been like trying to climb on me and like cuddle me too much. Yeah, that sounds good. I think the Tomb Raiders are even on sale at the moment. Like I was browsing Steam earlier. Right, I'm gonna try and turn this pizza around. I'll turn this pizza around if you don't. Shut up. Really quickly. Yeah, here we go. It looks really good, but it needs to be turned around. That pizza needs to get turned. You know what I should have done? I should have made a dessert. This is what, like, I said this last week. I could make a dessert right now, but I didn't think to do that. Next week there'll be a dessert, I promise. Because the stream's only going to be like 2 hours and 15 minutes by the time this is done. It's pretty short for a stream length. I can make a dessert. Do my best like Drake dancing. That's meant to be like the Pokeball throwing move. It looked like me playing guitar. I can't dance. If you see me play live, you'll know that for a fact. Yeah, go for it, dude. That sounds great. I'm sure they really appreciate that. Oh, I am not eating the whole. I'm gonna have like 2 slices, and I'll have probably 2 more slices tomorrow. This boy is dense. This is a big pizza. This kind of pizza, like if 2 people share, like 2 hungry people share this pizza, you will both be done for the day. It's absolutely, like I was saying earlier, just on the flour alone, it has 300 grams of flour. That alone is like more than 1,000 calories just from the flour, not the olive oil, not the pepperoni, not the cheese, not the sauce, just that alone. So yeah, if you ate that whole pizza, that's like probably about 3,000 calories. That would end you. And it's big and it's heavy, and it has a lot of really rich ingredients and a lot. You saw how much cheese I put on that bad boy, bruh. That would absolutely. If you ate more than like 2 slices in one sitting, you're not doing anything else the rest of the day. You're not getting up. Yeah, I'm not that gross. If I was on tour and I was really drunk, I probably would. And then regret it the next day. I tell you what, this is really bad. So when we were in Chicago earlier this year in April, on the April tour, we went to, oh shit, I can't remember what it was called, but Polyvinyl took us to like the Chicago deep dish spot, like I went to Buddy's, which is the OG Detroit style spot. We then went to the OG Chicago style spot, and they took us out for Chicago deep dish. And these things are absolutely enormous. So they're like they were probably about 20 inches. They're humongous pizzas, and they are like absolutely, they're like a good, I don't know, like 4 or 5 inches deep, and it is like a lasagna, and it was delicious, and I couldn't stop eating it, and I ate like, I'd eat to the point where I'd eaten like 3 slices, and I'm sitting next to Michael from Polyvinyl. Michael Theus. Michael is the fucking goat. I love Michael. He's great. He's one of the nicest people. He's one of the most supportive and most awesome people. I really like him. I'm sitting next to Michael from Polyvinyl, and he's like egging me on to eat more pizza. And when I take like my 3rd slice, he's like, wow, I don't think anyone's ever eaten 3 slices before. And it's like, don't encourage me. And then I was like so full by the end. I was like, I couldn't move. Yeah, that's a really bad habit that I've been trying to break, especially on tour, especially in America, because food is so rich and portions are so abundant, and you're eating out at like restaurants and stuff every day, not having home cooked food. So you end up just grossly overeating. Like even the most like basic diner meal, that's like 3 meals in one. And then you eat like that all the time, and I just kept getting really sick and feeling terrible all the time because I was just overeating. So I'm getting better at that. On the last tour, that was the best I've been for not overeating all the time, and I'm trying to get better. I don't do it at home really, but like if I can not do that, like it's so bad. Like when you're eating for something and it's delicious and you're enjoying it for 20 minutes, but then you feel like garbage for the next 24 hours. You have all the food from yesterday's dinner, word. Well, you could put that on a, I've made Christmas dinner pizzas before, like turkey and fucking sprouts and stuffing and sausages. You can put anything on pizza, dude. It's fire. It smells so good. I'm just gonna have one more little peek because it does cook quickly because the oven's really hot. Okay. It's honestly going to be like 5 more minutes. Just wait, like, the cheese needs to get a little bit darker. We're so nearly there. It's going to be so good, bro. What I'm going to do, what I didn't do last time as well, got my phone here, because these cameras are not very good. These are just cheap Logitech webcams. Might get a stroke though, word. If it was veg and not pepperoni, oh my god. 1/2 alcohol, strong stomach, weak liver. I'm not a drinker either, I can't. If I have like, when I'm on tour I'm a bit better, but if I'm at home, like if I had a beer at home, I drink 1 beer. I like Guinness. Guinness is my favorite alcohol. If I had like 1 Guinness, I get a fucking headache at home, so I'm not a huge drinker either. Yeah, I've got my phone with me. Last time I didn't get any pictures of the burger that I made on stream, so I'm going to take some fire-ass pictures, because these cameras aren't very good, and I'll post those up on Discord and Instagram later, because I've got an iPhone 11 swag, camera's fire. Oh, hi Catherine. You're finally home, got to check on the kitties. Word. Well, the pizza's going to be out in about 10 minutes. Well, yeah, it'll be like being sliced up and I'll be eating it in 10 minutes, so I'll see you in a minute. I hope the kitty's doing well. Give my love to the kitty cats. Bom, bom, bom. We almost did. The big reveal's coming. So, sorry I haven't got... I need to think of like something to do in the bits where I haven't got any cooking to do, so I'm not just like doing this. Or playing Survivor on stream. Got a strong liver now, fire. Yeah, no, I've never been a huge drinker. I remember like getting drunk like once or twice when I was a teenager, like really like pass out drunk, like vomit drunk, and I was like, this sucks. And it's like, even if I have a small amount of alcohol now, I just get hangovers. Like, doesn't matter how much water I drink, I'll feel shitty for like the next day. I'm just like, nah, I ain't about that. Like when you are on tour, you are around free alcohol all the time, so I will have like 1 or 2 drinks, but I never have more than like 2. And also, all the beer's so fucking strong in America, especially like at a venue and you ask for beers and they give you like some local craft beers and they're all like 7.5%. You have 2 of those and you're wrecked. I'll stick to Guinness, it's like barely even 4%. Oh, bruh. Yeah, nah, it ain't for me. It ain't for me. And also, I don't like not being in control. You know, like when you get messy drunk, I spend the whole next day just like terrified. Like, what did I do something really bad? I mean, I never did, but it's like I ain't about that. You went hungover to Corona Capital, word. Well, thank you for coming out with a hangover and standing in the sun like in the middle of the afternoon to watch us play. I really appreciate you being there. That was so fun. I really liked that day. I had an absolutely fantastic time in Mexico. I was really happy that I got to go to the F1 circuit too. That was fire. I was like, I've driven around this in like so many F1 games like throughout my entire life, and now I'm here. I'm at the Hermanos Rodriguez circuit. I was like, fire. Stan Checo Perez, you my boy. Right. I think we're good. Let's have a look. You know what? That could just go for like 2 more minutes. Just want the cheese to be a little bit darker. It's not burning yet. There's no like little black bits. It's perfect at the moment, but it could just be a tiny bit darker. Your head stopped hurting when Phantogram was gonna play, word. Yeah, there were a lot of really good artists at Corona Capital. I really enjoyed the lineup. It was cool getting to watch some bands that we really liked too. I got to watch Snail Mail and Car Seat Headrest. It was really fun. And it was super fun because we were all staying at the hotel. It was just like a rock and roll hotel. And I'm like walking down the hall to take my baggage.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Shitting hell!
Keep on being awesome.
Oh my god!
Vids and KKB forever.
Fuck, that was so loud. Thank you, Yoshimitsu, for the 20. Oh my god, that's like the biggest donation I've ever had. Thank you. I am so grateful. Merry Christmas to you. Much love. Thank you so much. That money's all the donations I get help running the cost of the stream. That's going to go back into making the stream better. Thank you so much. I'm super grateful. I'm going to get some like better lights and cameras and shit so I can do this a bit better. I want to get some USB extension cables so I can at least put my cameras around more so you can see more shit. That's so kind of you, Yoshimitsu. Thank you so much. Dedicate this pizza to you, my boy. Thank you so much. That thing is so... Because I have the volume of my amplifier for my headphones is like all the way up because all the audio sources are really low. That comes in so fucking loud. Oh my god. No, thank you. Oh, Armando, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Thank you. I'm gonna take this pizza out because it's gonna be ready. No, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I actually don't have very much cash at the moment either, so that's like super helpful. Thank you so much. Right. Oh my god, this thing looks absolutely incredible. Right, I need to get. Do I have another oven glove? I've only got one. Oh my gosh. Every time. I mean, I did that one on purpose. It's supposed to be really loud on purpose because it's supposed to be funny. Every time that goes off, it's like absolutely kills me. You didn't know it was gonna do that. Yes. Hi, Bunny. Thanks for joining me. My day's going very well. Right. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Y'all ain't ready for this one. Oh. That is Detroit style pizza from the top. Wait till you see this shit like out the tray. Hang on. Just gonna leave that for just 2 seconds just so it cools down enough where I can take it out. Oh my god. Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Armando. I'm super grateful. Everyone who donates, whether it's big or small, like, you don't have to. Just being here is enough. I'm super grateful that you're just here. Thank you. You're joining me on Christmas Day, but I really appreciate when you do that. Thank you so much. It's like proof that like this is fun, and I'm like I should be doing it. It's chill, and like I said, it helps cover the cost of buying the games, buying the stuff I need to run the stream. So thank you so much. Whew, I had to calm down after that. Damn. But yeah, that one, it's meant to do that on purpose. British millennial ruining the hearing aid economy by going deaf. I'm a musician, I need my hearing, but nah, it's fine. It's more the fact that it's so distorted as well. It like blows you away. Oh my god. No, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. Right. Let's get this pizza out. Y'all deserve, especially after that, y'all deserve to see a show. Right. And because we properly oiled our pan, as you might be able to see, the pizza has not stuck to the side. It's just because it will shrink a little bit when it cooks. There's a little like millimeter gap around the pizza, so it means I should be able to lift this lad out. Oh yeah, that's nice. Also, this is a brand new pan. I've only used it once before today, so oh yeah, boy. Let's get underneath. Oh. Here we go. Oh. This is always the hardest bit. Oh, mate, look at that crust. Oh, baby, yes. Oh, mate, yes. Right, let me get these. Actually, I don't think you haven't got to pick up the chopping board, do I? So, as you can see, that little dark crust around the edge, that's where the cheese has gone down in the cracks, and it's got all lovely and crispy against the side of the tray. So there's lovely sharp-ass corners. This thing's like a pie. I mean, that's why they call it pizza pie, bro. Let's have a look at the bottom. I might not be able to show you that on camera, but the bottom is, oh, it's so golden. Yes. Let me just try and lift this up. So, let me see. Can I show y'all the bottom of the pizza? See that? Just about see it there. That is golden brown. Again, that's what happens when you properly oil the pan. So I'm just going to get some pictures of this bad boy real quick. Oh, yes. I'm so happy. Yeah, thick. This is one thick lad. Oh, baby, yes. That looks, it's like cheesy to the fucking nines, bro. And you've got those lovely little thick lines of sauce. That's really deep. So when you cut into that, oh, mate. Oh, just stand. That looks really fire. I'm super happy with that. Right, okay, it's time to slice. This pizza has the most incredible cross section. So you want to cut this into 8 little squares. So you just want to go, oh man, it's so crispy. And it's so fluffy and magical in the middle as well. I'm just going to turn the oven back on so I can keep the rest of the pizza warm until later. Right. Oh, here we go. Right, and then into 2 again. Crispy. Yeah, that's what this pizza is all about. This pizza is all about the crispy cheese. Okay, here we go. See, when you cut into it, it is like a lasagna or a cake. It is a big boy. Whoops. That crust's breaking a little bit there, but that's all good. And the corn, oh mate, the crust bits are amazing, but the corner bits, yeah, you'd only eat half, lol. You can't fully appreciate it on the camera, but this thing is enormous. But the corner bits on this pizza are magical. Let's go. Okay, I need to try and cut down the middle of the sauce line. That's where you're supposed to cut it. And so, there's pepperoni on top. There's pepperoni under the cheese as well. That's the magical part. It is like a lasagna. There's just layers and layers and layers. Oh, yeah, boy. Actually, I forgot to put my plates in the oven to make them nice and warm. But this pizza's so hot, you'll be fine. Oh yeah, I mean, lasagna is great. But this is like pizza lasagna. Okay, right, let's get... What's the prettiest little corner bit? I think it's this one. Oh, that little blob of sauce just came off. I'll just fix it. Oh, the the cheese. See, there's pepper. See, this is a blob of sauce. There's pepperoni in the sauce. Or chorizo, because I didn't use pepperoni. Oh, mate. Just wipe my little finger off. See, here we go. Oh, look at that. And all the way around. See how thick and lovely and kind of bubbly and doughy and delicious that is. Oh, mate, look at that. That's fire. That, like, glistening, how it glistens on the light. That's perfect. That's so good. That is like a little pie. Alright, I'm just gonna get a couple more little pics of the slice. Oh, the lighting's so weird in this room. Oh man, I'll put another little slice on another plate as well. I'll take one of these little middle slices. That looks so beautiful. Oh, and there we are again, that lovely glistening crust. It's hard to see from the camera, but here we go. Where am I? Here we go. Oh, don't you just want a piece of that? Oh, baby. Let's get another little picture. You gotta go. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Victor. I really appreciate you being here. I'm glad you got to see the finished thing. Until next time, thank you so much for coming. Thanks for sharing your Christmas with me. Love to all your family and people that you care about. Yeah, no worries, Pitch. Well, I'm gonna take a bite. So if everyone's heading off, I'll head off too in a sec. I'm just gonna absolutely chunk into this real quick. Let me just turn the microphone up so it's not completely disgusting. You haven't got to listen to me chew. Oh man, look at that crust, bro. Ooh. Ooh. That is so delicious. That is so good. I'm gonna go for a bit with the crust on now. Oh baby. Oh, it's so good. Like, how's this for some ASMR? Hang on. Alright then, well. Anyway, that's Detroit style pizza, start to finish. That's how you do it in 2.5 hours. That's not that long. Thank you so much again for joining me. I really appreciate everyone who came and watched today. Thank you for giving me your time on Christmas Day. Hope you had a great time. My love to everyone that you care about, all your friends and family, everyone who you're close to. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the donation again to, I believe it was Armando. Really appreciate you being here, everyone. Thank you so much. You're all awesome. Thank you for supporting me doing this. You make me feel awesome doing this. It's wicked. It's so, like, satisfying having you all turn up and have a sick time. So, have a wicked Christmas. Love you all. Until, I don't know, like, Tuesday. I think I'm streaming, Friday I'm streaming next? I don't even know what day it is. Well, I'll see you all soon. Have a wicked Christmas. Bye, everyone.